And good afternoon, good evening, people. Welcome to the But Peep This podcast, the podcast where we talk about whatever the hell we want. I'm Lionel, that's Hillary, that's J.E.'s, and Sean is back from Arizona teaching coyotes the word of God. So welcome back, Sean. We glad that you're back from your crusade to better the lives of coyotes who don't know Jesus.
It's been,
now, before we go any further,
we won't even go into that. I can't believe we're about to start off the episode like this.
By the way, you look like Logic, Cousin Reasoning.
Man, come on.
No, he's like deductive. He's like his second cousin twice removed, deductive.
So
it's the San Francisco hat, isn't it?
It's
the San Francisco hat.
While you are here, go ahead and pause the video, like the video, subscribe if you ain't subscribed, leave a comment, good or bad, but if it's bad, say it with your motherfucking chest. Like us on YouTube. I said that already. Like us on Facebook, Instagram. The TikTok's coming whenever I feel like fucking making it because we busy around here. Now, I know y'all are waiting on this movie review today and the album review today. We'll get to that. Sean, pick your mic up.
Go ahead and start the conversation.
Pick your mic up. Ladies and gentlemen, we love our leaders. We love all the people who paved the way for us, who fought and died, got beat up for the right for us to vote and be treated like, the best we've been treated in the past 50 years. So thank you to all of the foot soldiers who fought and died for you.
Both the ones known and the ones
known and unknown. Now, I said that to say this. Show me one image, historical, accurate, Associated Press, Getty images of Martin Luther King with a fresh cut.
Look, I'm going to say this before we get to that. Look.
You told me to pick my mic up for this?
Look.
You told me to pick my mic up for this? I need to put it down.
We need solidarity, son. Everyday Ivory. Mother love.
Me, you, and Hillary could be looked at as being very disrespectful last week with MLK. And this is how you open the next show?
Listen,
the day coming for your ass.
The day after.
That's fine.
Your ass.
That is fine. This is the But Peep This podcast. We talk about what we want. And I want to talk about the fact that historically, Martin Luther King never had a really nice haircut. It's not false. It ain't slander if it's true.
And I could go so far as to say it's so weird to me that he would not pay attention to his BDBs, but his suits were like expertly tailored.
Suit game on point.
Bro, look.
His face was always green.
Took the Nobel Prize in front of the world with the BDB. Come on,
bro.
Come on, man.
Look, as long as
he didn't have everything.
As long as he didn't have the Tory Lanez in the top of his head like that, he all right.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know.
Tory Lanez have like somebody just took some hair and said, we just gonna put some glue. And we just gonna stick it wherever it goes.
Like he was in Selma from January to March. It's a barbershop on Dallas Avenue that could have faded him up. Period.
I don't know, man. You
know what? I'll tell you one better. Show me any civil rights foot soldier in a photo with a fresh cut. You don't even see a civil rights or a foot soldier in a photo in a barbershop.
And again,
I think James Baldwin didn't have one either.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God, yes.
No. John Lewis.
John Lewis hairline was on swim. No, Lionel. No, his hairline was on swim. Look, when he said it, I saw.
I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna defend some of these foot soldiers real quick.
Yeah, Sean, go ahead. Defend the foot soldiers.
I think they were a little stressed out
fuck that. No,
by the things going on.
Fuck that. No, fuck that. Glad you said something because you're the white boy. My nigga James Reeves had his duck ass sitting perfectly on top of his head, bro. It was a part right here, and it was going like that, and it was always every push I ever seen. And I could go so far to say
I got you one too. Fred Shuttlesworth always had the fresh fade. I just thought on one.
Period with
Fred Shuttlesworth even when he had the gray hair, his fro was immaculate.
Who
And they
was
threw
the
from out his bed.
who was the brother from Marion?
Jimmy Lee.
I thought
Jimmy Lee always. You know what? Jimmy Lee did have a fresh fade.
I'm probably thinking about the guy from Mississippi. Then is now and no whatever. Look, we mentioned the brother Malcolm X, and the reason why Malcolm X matters and why that hairline and everything was on point. You gotta respect Harlem.
Get a Harlem. Hell yeah.
You gotta respect Harlem.
Harlem
is
I'm sorry, but you also have to respect Atlanta. Everybody knew you were from Atlanta.
But see, here's the thing.
But wait, where's the representation in Atlanta though for this conversation? I mean, when we got okay, y'all looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. So let me back the fuck up currently.
When I think about brothers from that time in the 50s and 60s, I don't really think the South with the freshest, most like lined up, all of that. I don't think about that. I think about the ones in the Midwest and New York. And California was just, the brothers in California, of course, outside of Black Panther Party, a lot of them look like the dudes in the South. They didn't give a damn about what was going on up there. But
you know what? I gotta give you that
because was gonna give you this good word and this nice fade. So that was it. That it was either because I'm trying to think. I don't think Fred Hampton was fresh. His look was nice. Midwest.
Yeah.
So, Stokely Carmichael. That wasn't the South either. So they were fresh.
Okay, I'll concede that point.
But that's what I was saying. I'm like, in this conversation with hair, if you look at it, there's a trend. You got your more northern and Midwest that had a lot more of the appearance stuff down. And the South didn't.
They can get their face shaved all the time with the straight razor and all of that. They can do something about that hairline. I ain't coming off.
They think about that.
So I'll tell you what. When we build the time machine, we'll make sure the first place we go is the 1940s or 50s, and we'll go find every single one of them.
November 1st, 1955. Before
there you go.
Before the boycott even happened, Martin King. Hey, my boy, listen, they about to make you leader.
Look.
You gotta come here.
You gotta think about it. You gotta think about
it. Get a haircut.
If you're trying to get your haircut and a clean shave, that's gonna be pretty quick because they ain't gonna line that up. They're gonna just take off the afro a little bit. They're gonna shave everything off. Then you gotta run right back out that barbershop before that shit get bombed or something. In New York, you gotta
they ain't never heard about abominable colors on the barbershop.
Look, you know how much time it takes to get a fresh lineup and all that stuff. I ain't got time for that, man. I gotta get back out here and fight.
Fight for the freedom.
In New York, Midwest is a little bit different.
Hey,
just a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
But if y'all about to whoop me, beat me in my head, I got to be fresh.
Nah,
the feds watching me, I got to be fresh as hell.
No.
The feds watching, we got to be fresh.
That's what I'm saying.
I think more of if the feds are watching, you're tearing your hair out, which I think is more.
No, we ain't gonna say that because the feds was watching Malcolm X. He was still fresh. They followed him to the motherland. They followed him to the motherland.
I would like to point out though, I don't think Malcolm X really gave a damn that he was being watched. I feel like that came across in his general demeanor.
Yeah.
But it's something about the Nation of Islam. I want to bet there's a fleet of dudes in the Nation of Islam with that Clipper game on top notch. And it's always been that way.
Like, I'm willing to bet it's always was fresh cut.
Always. Louis Farrakhan, I have no idea why Louis Farrakhan isn't gray yet. I don't understand it. There's something. Look, they're doing something in the NOI that's keeping everybody fresh.
I feel like a lot of people, more people than you know, be drinking that serum from Death Becomes Her, and I'm sticking to that story.
look, I'm telling you this. When I was out here wandering in the world after I left Uniontown, I was this close to becoming a Buddhist. Then a couple months later, a part of the original Black Panther Party, not the new Black Panther Party, because they came through Montgomery, and the Nation of Islam. I was just out
All
there
three
like,
at the
yo,
same
nah, it was in a year. Like everybody, so the Nation of Islam just recently came through this area and they put out a flyer. So every once in a while, they send a representative. So of course, one is coming through Montgomery. I went to the meeting. It was cool. And if you look, I'm gonna say this: I respect the Nation of Islam. I want to say that off the top. I don't agree with 100% everything, but I respect what some of their core is. But if you think them LLC niggas is bad, yo,
Hey, real quick, I want to shout out. Hold on, I want to shout out a commenter from last episode. So even though I haven't been here for a while, I've been watching the episodes, and as I'm going through it, I'm watching last week's episode. I go in the comments, and it's like one of the first comments on there, and somebody had shouted me out, and I'm pretty sure it was one of my students. And then the next thing they said was like real confidently, "Oh yeah, get you an LLC."
Get your LLC.
And I just want to say to whatever student that was, y'all know I love y'all to death, but you just proved to me you don't watch this shit, and I'm fine with that. You don't watch what we do.
So what type of example are you setting?
It's a terrible example you said it, Sean.
I put it like this though. In that Nation of Islam meeting, that brother gave me a little bit of Dr. Umar with LLC brother with passport, bro. And I was like, and I'm thinking, this is me thinking back. This is me thinking, because he was talking about expanding the black man, and the black man needs to be everywhere, but running things everywhere. And I'm like, I'm kind of impressionable at that point. I ain't gonna lie, because even though I'm an adult, I'm from this small ass area. That nigga had me. I was there. I was there. I was so close that if I had the money to get that plane ticket to go to New York, over, because they wanted me to come to New York for like some other type of meeting and stuff, and then you go back to where you live and you spread the word and try to build your own thing. That close to Nation of Islam.
You made the Nation of Islam sound like a bunch of LLC niggas. Like
it sounds like a pyramid.
You pay the money and you come here, and then you go back and you try to get folks to come in.
This sounds like a pyramid scheme.
But see, look, this is the thing. I told the brother, I said, look, man, I'm interested. I would love to come to New York and catch everything, but I ain't got no money like that. He was like, listen here, young brother, you do your work, you get the work done, and you come there and you see me. I said, but y'all can't, front me or something. He said, we can't do that, brother. That's not what we do over here. You got to be able, we need to be able to see you stand up on your own first. And when you stand up, you come back down here and stand up for everybody else. And that shit hit me in the chest. I was like, you right.
I'm going to go raise the money. That had Jay's better say eliminate.
Stand up.
No, they did Baba Aku.
Yo,
Baba.
That nigga had me, yo.
He said stand up too many times.
But see, that's the thing. That's how they get you. Because if you ever listening to Umar as a joke, like, think about it. That's something he'd say, and he'd say that shit like 5 times. And because it needs to stick with you before you go to the next talk. And by the time you get to the next talk, you keep talking, they found a really clever way to bring it back to what they was repeating. And you was like, ooh. He was like, no.
It's making a lot of sense.
Why do you need white man
paperwork?
Why do you need white man paperwork?
I love that shit.
Can I say one thing about Dr. Johnson, about Dr. Umar Johnson? Is it me, or is his outfits getting more and more extravagant every time he appears?
I beg your pardon?
I want him to get.
Like I feel as though we are just building somewhere. Like
I want to get to the point where that's so ridiculous. He walked in an interview with a hat that's shaped like a pyramid. I want that shit to happen.
No, I want his hat. I want his hat to get bigger and bigger like it did on Scary.
Yeah.
Oh
when you start looking like, I know that shit is an it.
Is this fucking hat growing?
Coming on his live, nigga, we see that shit. We see that hat.
Yo,
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one that saw this. I do want him to continue to go, but it is getting more and more strapped.
Why you seeing?
Oh boy.
Why you using your eyes to see?
The original Black Panther Party meeting had me feeling like we was about to get shot up in there. Because every once in a while they had somebody at the door and the nigga will open the door and look out. I'm like, man, what the fuck is he looking for? And then every once in a while the dude who's speaking, he was like, see, they don't want y'all to know this, man. They don't want y'all to know we up in here talking about this power. We in here talking about progress. And I'm like, who the fuck is they?
Go outside. Like,
I started asking myself, is they at the door? Like, what's happening?
Was you paranoid?
Like,
yo, at the door.
That shit had me worried to walk outside. I was like, man, I know the way this nigga was just talking, I know the CIA is out there. Like, now, I will say this. I don't doubt that some of the shit he was saying is true. Because getting a bunch of Black folks together in Montgomery specifically, talking about like the original Black Panther Party, if it got out to anybody, I do believe some of it was true. To the extent that he was talking, maybe not. But that nigga also almost had me because I was almost homeless at that point. I was like, yeah, I know who problem this is. This ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just a victim.
I'm just a victim of this.
Okay.
I'm a victim out here.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all.
And one more thing. Go ahead. The Buddhist one. The Buddhist meeting was actually at a Baptist church. I don't even know how that was possible. I don't know how they did that shit. But they taught me something about something about a fish and the Buddhist beliefs of swimming upstream and something. And that was probably like the most level-headed me, where I felt like some weeks after that, I started asking myself, am I Buddhist? Because some niggas didn't ask me to be in anything. They didn't ask me to pay for anything. They didn't ask me to do anything. And it's like, but I feel good. Like, all right.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest, just a real quick aside on Buddhism, and this might piss off a couple people, but like, I think the core beliefs of Buddhism is just a philosophy, truly. It's really not like Buddhism as a religion is interesting. I think when you start to get into like the different like sects of Buddhism, like when you get into like the V Buddhism, because I don't know how to say these words, the one that's based like more around nirvana than anything else, I think that's when you start to get into like the religion. But the base Buddha, because Buddha was a dude, he was just a dude,
right?
He was a dude who one day said, you know what, I'm gonna go in barns and I'm gonna start meditating. And other people went, you know what, I'm gonna go in barns and start meditating with them.
Yo, scientists just found the mummified remains of a monk who put himself in a statue in a meditative pose. And the belief is you mummify yourself while you're still alive, you get in the statue, you close that motherfucker, and you die. Because you could be closer to Buddha that way. And they just found like this statue, and found in the statue is a body in that pose of meditating. And you know what? I don't claim one belief specifically about what's on the other side of like living on Earth or whatever. But I'm not gonna 100% say that dude didn't find what he was looking for.
That's hella chilling to me. That is hella chilling. Like that, like sent a shiver, like down me. That like it made my heart drop.
I'm about to go mummify myself.
All right, bro.
Right.
All right, bro.
and stick yourself in a statue to die purposely. While you're meditating, you meditate until you die, basically. And then you're at this highest level of peace and all knowing and all being that, yeah. But now it makes me worry. If they open that statue, what the fuck is gonna happen?
Yeah,
like, don't open that statue, man. Leave that shit alone. Leave it alone.
Okay. All right.
Leave that alone.
Before we move on, Hillary posed a question to me earlier.
Hold on, you gonna ask the question? I want y'all to think for 30 seconds before you answer. Don't just answer off the bat.
Okay.
Be fucking for real.
I've been thinking about this all day. What role would you have wanted to play in the civil rights movement? Okay, this is going to be the most radical thing y'all have heard me say. SCLC hitman. Hear me out, okay? And I mean Alabama and Mississippi in particular. Okay, we can count to 30, Sean. Thank you. And I've been thinking about this all day. So if that timer is for me, then
this is for me and Jay.
There's a thought. Okay.
Is that an iPhone 8?
No,
Nigga, you see,
it's not an iPhone 8.
What is it?
Lottie, you supposed to be talking
an 11.
Your Go.
It's an 11 Pro.
All right, so SCLC hitman
8.
Okay, so you know this whole like non-violent, everybody's like non-violence. All right, cool. Well, for me, fuck all that. Okay. I'm not gonna register to vote. I'm not gonna live any particular place. I'm gonna follow the rules. I'm gonna walk with my head down, yes or no, sir. Colors on the bathroom, colors on the restaurants. I am not gonna stir the pot. I'm gonna fly under the radar because they're not gonna just notice one nigga doing everything right. Okay. And I'm gonna just pay attention. Okay. When I see like a white man, like, do something he ain't supposed to be doing to somebody, mental note. Or a sheriff, like, in the small towns where they got 2 or 3 police officers and they got everybody on lock, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something to get the police brought to me, because in the 60s, y'all ain't got no radios, no GPS, know where I'm at. I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. I'm gonna move to the next town. And I'm gonna just be killing wrongdoers and kind of evening the shit out. Like for real, like we saw, like for example, like the mayor Selma, Smitherman, like somebody should have knocked this block off. This shit would have been better. Jim Clark in the restaurant walking, put two 22 bullets in the back of his head, walk out like some mob shit.
I can see that.
That's just me. That's what I would have wanted to do. I'll be just walking through Alabama, Mississippi, and just looking for injustice, and just and just like low key handling it. And if that black folks know about it, like throw me $30-$40 for my, efforts.
$30 to $40.
$30-$40.
30, 35, 45 a meal.
I'm gonna tell y'all what I would have done. This is me being totally transparent and 100% honest. When you look at the bravery of people and what they did in the 60s, like the biggest fear is for them was not death, it was how they were gonna die. And to me, that's my biggest fear, period. So, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, and I'm saying this with a straight, you see I'm not laughing at that. I probably wouldn't have marched, but I'm the nigga you could have came to. Like, damn, they'll hit y'all with the clubs again. Yeah, I got a ice pack for you. Damn, kind of fucked y'all up, because I'm inherently a scary ass. Like, for real, I'm inherently scary as hell.
I can see that.
Like, you said that. They gonna have them. I don't know, y'all. They had them. No, last time.
Let's keep it a beat. All right, before we move on, who on this call like would have been at the foot of the Selma Bridge and the troopers like, take your asses on?
And who would have went home?
Fucking stay.
Who would have turned around?
Who would have turned around? I'd have been hauling ass down fucking Broad Street. Hauling ass. You ever run
like,
so
no, they
fast?
want to see my back, but I would have got the fuck out the way.
No. I could see God knew who to put well.
Yeah.
Cause Sean, they would have killed you too.
Yeah, they would have killed Sean too.
Sean probably would have died before one of us died, honestly.
They would have just looked at him and said, "This Jew lawyer with this Jew rap talent."
Nigga. And you would have been a dead motherfucker.
Jew? Like what the fuck?
I would like to believe my role in that time would have been totally faceless. I'm like Lionel. I wouldn't have wanted to vote or any of that shit. I would have been trying. I don't want to say spy because spy sounds like too high of some shit. But I would have played the role every once in a while just to get some intel of a house nigga. Pretty much, I would have been a lot of yes sir, no sir, all that shit, and go right back to the Black Panther Party somehow because I couldn't just go straight with them, and snitch some shit. But I ain't gonna lie. Look, man, let's not front like everybody in the fight was really there for the fight.
Yeah.
So some other niggas probably would have got snitched on too. Like, some niggas, but see, that would have been my way. That would have been my way to stay undercover because I can, hey, look,
you would have been sacrificing niggas for the cause, man.
No, like, because really, think about it.
For the cause.
A nigga like that because how they knew Martin Luther King was an adultery. You know that nigga be cheating on your wife. It was a nigga that told on him.
Look, I'm going to the other side. Like, look, let me tell you what's going on, Glenn. You see this nigga over here? No good. Willa Earl ain't shit, and I'm telling you, Willa Earl is a motherfucker with the weapons. He got all the plans. Y'all need to take Willa Earl ass out. What you need me?
So you know what? I would have with my
and then as soon as Glenn pick up the plan, then I'm going back to Bobby Seale. Hey, look, Bobby Seale, I know about this cat called Glenn, right? He the one who got Willa Earl up out this motherfucker. What you trying to do?
You know what? This just put me in the mind though.
Whole time nobody knows nothing about me.
You know that scene of SpongeBob now, like, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson over there? And Will Earl just sitting there, don't know what the fuck going on.
Will Earl got his ass look, I'm Will Earl's best friend. I've done dirt with Will Earl.
Oh my God.
I grew up with Will Earl, so I know how dirty he is. So Will Earl is a problem.
Don't know what
Will Earl, goddamn.
Willa Earl is a problem to the fight. We got to get Willa Earl up. Look, Willa Earl don't know his 13-year-old son is my son. Willa Earl don't know none of that shit. So,
you'd have just ruined Willa Earl's life.
Because Willa Earl is a problem. We got to get him up out of here.
And we gotta
get Willa Earl out of here.
And the people I'm telling shit to, they can't be, they can't suspect me or nothing. So I got to shift motherfuckers.
Got to give him a little something.
And that's thing, 15, 20 years, I'm down there in Cuba with Assata Shakur. So, I mean, I'm out of here.
Down there in Cuba. There you go.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So I thought about it for a little bit. I'd probably kind of similar to Hillary. I'd probably be like more of a safe house person, but I feel like my role as a safe house would be more of like, trying to, like let people like hide, things like that. Like if things go bad, make a good like report with the police to be like, oh, well, we got somebody coming over here. Like they help us out with stuff, just trying to get all the heat off of everybody if things go bad. Just a safe place that people know they can go.
That's the best you can come up with.
That's why I said. This is what I said.
I figured the white boy would be registering us to vote.
No, what's that?
Just think about it. Sean could walk in the registrar's office any day and just write down Lionel Harris and register me to vote. And I ain't got to get my ass.
Wait, was it that easy?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I don't think it wasn't hard.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Not that much.
Present. I thought you had to be present. I didn't know you were just going right.
Half of the registrars in the state of Alabama couldn't read or write at the time.
Well,
they were just white men.
and
Who
white
could tell
ladies.
niggas they couldn't vote?
Coming from name all 53
What the fuck
Alabama
does he
counties.
know?
Look, see, you know what? 'Cause then I got free. Name all 53 Alabama counties. Okay, the first one is fuck your mama.
Fuck your sister.
Fuck your daddy too.
Fuck Billy
that's the
Earl.
Indian
Fuck your
one.
dog.
Wait, look, I remember that shit just
57
dropped
counties
a
over here.
memory that I did not expect. I remember having to do that as a test in civics in school.
Yep.
And I did not know that shit. But this was the beginning of what we seen cell phones to be. And I was like, being I'm the oldest in here, so earbuds were just becoming a thing, but they had like the cord on it. So what we would do, for whatever reason, this lady wanted us to stand in front of the class and do this shit. Her desk was to the right. Sneaky niggas who didn't want to study had a coat coming on with the cord to come up around your ear and then in it, and one nigga way in the back with his head down on the phone reading to you each one. I remember that nigga telling me one time, hey, I remember him in my ear saying, stop saying the shit so perfect, nigga, trip up. And she gonna expect something.
Let's up a couple of them.
Look,
I was listening to that nigga so attentive that I almost said that shit out loud.
Oh my God.
Like, yo, I remember having to do that. I can't believe it. And I still don't
goddamn,
remember that shit.
the register
I
asking you
still don't
how many
remember that.
bubbles in a bar. So, nigga, your nasty stinking ass don't know. Like, fuck you talking about, Sean? Listen, cause see, what nobody scamming niggas in the 60s, and I feel like we have enough niggas saying tap in the 60s too. Cause see, Sean, like Sean, I think what you would have done would have been a great idea, but the SCLC SNCC, we need a registrar plug. You feel me?
I ain't like we had a charter bus plug. We had a history.
How the hell
book
did we
plug.
get the charter bus plug?
I don't know what the charter bus plug, but we had that.
Was it that plug like the ones who got caught in Mississippi though?
We got the let me get a ride plug. Niggas are just like put you in a brand new Cadillac and take you grocery shopping.
Because what it sounds like is you trying to put Sean driving the car in Mississippi late night.
Oh no, you know they killed.
No, long as I can drive, Sean just got to be in the back seat.
Okay.
First of all, see, I feel like that's what they messed up at, because what was up, and this gonna sound like a long shot, but you know, in the Korean War, before the civil rights started, they put all the black people like fix the tanks. We gonna put y'all on the front line, not for Korean War, but the Vietnam War, they switched their story. Right. Y'all fix the tank. All these mechanic niggas y'all got, and y'all couldn't outrun the smoke in the bed.
Right. What a 454 at? What a Hellcat? You telling me, man? Straight up, a Hellcat, 1965 Selma.
Man,
a Hellcat.
Well, did y'all know? This some shit that I learned recently. Did y'all know them racist ass losers after that Civil War went down? A lot of them went down to Brazil and started their own goddamn town.
Fuck them niggas.
Like, fuck them niggas. Let them go.
Loser ass niggas.
Yo, and the shit still exists, and they have like a festival or something like every year, where I'm pretty sure they're altering how the shit ended. But yeah, the motherfuckers went down there and started their own town in Brazil. I didn't know this shit, and it's still down there. And they was down there fucking brown people and shit, and now like their lineage is messed up and stuff, and they don't know what to believe about black people in America. And that shit was wild. I just learned that shit like a month ago.
You can get out.
That shit, y'all. They went down there.
If you don't like it, then leave, ass nigga. Shut the fuck up. How about I whoop
your ass? I didn't ask to come here. Like
they went down there. They went down there using the skills that they made our black ass do. That's some shit. They went down there,
you could pick cotton the whole time.
That's what they went down there sharecropping. My mind was blown when I seen that shit. It was like you
okay
ass bitches.
Let me get out this because I feel this stuff all night.
We can talk about
that.
I can go through the whole.
I really preach Harriet Tubman of the hood, because either you finna come with me or I'm gonna kill your motherfucking ass because you ain't finna tell on me. I'm finna go back to the plantation. No. I'm finna shoot your ass dead in the ear. You better come the fuck up like
Truly.
you should have came with me.
Here we go. So, I decided, I looked in the mirror this morning and consulted with my damn self. I'm gonna remove the year restriction off of the movies and the album. So if it land on you, you just pick an album or you just pick a movie. Don't worry about what time it's from.
Okay.
All right.
Since y'all, since we're gonna do the movie first. So
I feel like you need to remove yourself, Lionel, because
we're doing the movie first.
Oh,
I actually need to remove you.
Yeah.
Get your ass up out of here.
Get the
Your ass.
So who's picking the movie for this week?
This is some HR shit, by the way, that I'm not up on.
God damn it. Come on. All right, Sean, you picking a movie this week. Think about it. We'll get you at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
All right.
I can pick any movie?
Any movie.
Any movie. Cool.
If we got to pay for it, you reimbursing me.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
You understand? Understand me?
I understand.
All right.
I understand.
Who's picking the album this week? Sean, if it land on you, I'm respin it because you can't pick both.
Can I pick one then, man? Come on.
Man. Take Son off because he got the movie.
I'd rather. That's what I'm saying, man. If it lands on me again, I'm keeping it. All right.
Jeez, you got the album this week.
Man.
All right. Think about it. We'll come back to it. Now, Little Shop of Horrors. Who wants to go first? Sean, you want to go first? Hey, Sean, I go first.
I broke up with my ex-girl.
Here's a number. Hey.
Go ahead, Light. I want to hear your critique. I want to hear yours the most, actually.
Okay. So, Little Shop of Horrors. Watched it twice. Okay. So when you do this review on the movie and the music, 2 questions you have to answer. Overall grade, and will you watch it again or will you listen to it again? The whole album, not just songs, the whole album. Okay. Everybody understand? All right. Little Shop of Horrors. The singing was impeccable. Usually you have like in a musical, you have like a few strong voices and everybody else just like, man, but everybody was blowing on this motherfucker.
Except for Seymour.
Like, except for Seymour and Steve Martin, but we'll get to Steve Martin. Seymour should have really saw the writing on the wall. Seymour is also a simp ass nigga, and I don't like how they portrayed him in here as a simp. Because every time you see it, Audrey, like, damn, nigga, stop. Damn. Down here dreaming about this bitch and shit. Shut the fuck up. Like, golly.
He loved her, Lionel.
He loved it. He loved
her though, man.
He loved that woman.
And she loved him.
You love me, bitch. Yeah.
He loved him.
And she loved him. He had, I'll talk about it in mine, but
yeah,
he had every right.
Shut up. All right. So, personally, I don't think Steve Martin worked in this movie. I did not like the character of the dentist. Could have been done so much, like, so different. I don't think Steve Martin was it. I don't know if that character was meant to be like funny or serious. Either way, it didn't work. Bill Murray probably would have been a better dentist. I mean, hell, you could have put, I don't know, was Jim Belushi was dead in 1986. Anybody else other than Steve Martin? So,
but I mean, he was in the movie though.
Yeah, Bill Murray was in the movie.
No, Jim Belushi.
No, that was John Belushi.
Yeah, that was John Belushi.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
Yeah.
Jim Belushi.
Jim was his brother. Jim was the Animal Party, Animal House. What is the name of the movie?
Animal House.
So
yeah,
the Blues Brothers. Jim Belushi is shorter, way shorter than his brother. Well, was.
Are we getting mixed up?
No,
no.
Y'all getting them mixed up. John Belushi is Animal House. Jim Belushi is the one who had the TV show.
That's right.
Jim Belushi did Blues Brothers.
Let me just...
John Belushi is
Blues Brothers. Anyway, all right, moving on while Hillary does that point of information for us. The accent with Steve Martin, it didn't work.
Yeah, John Belushi was Animal House. Jim Belushi was his brother.
Okay. Why do you have a Southern accent trying to sound like Elvis in New York City? And you like it didn't work for me. I didn't like it. So, when it came down to the first sacrifice to the plant, I felt like it should have been Mushnick, because like, and it still could have been accidental. I feel like he was more of a threat, like overall, to like the success of Seymour and eventually Audrey than the boyfriend was. So
I'm gonna disagree with you right there. I'm gonna tell you why.
You can disagree. I feel like well, personally, I would have, made sure that the boss died first to the plant. That way I could focus, like it really could be about me and not him making money. And the boyfriend should have went next. And that's why I would have brought Audrey into the loop that, hey, this plant eat niggas. And I would have made sure that Audrey, like he hit Audrey and then you defend him and then like, yeah, pull out your gun and shoot him. Or Audrey kill him. And she's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with the body? And it's like, I got you. And now she knows, because the whole tension, the build up between Audrey and Seymour, it happened too quick for me. Like there was no conflict. Well, there was like, oh, she has the boyfriend, and he was like, oh, well, whatever. And then this nigga just disappeared, like without really a fight. Okay. I mean, there was no climax to that. It was just like he got high and died. So there should have been like a, the dentist saw, Seymour feed the boss to the plant. And then of course, he been holding on this time, and then he hit Audrey, and Seymour kind of trying to stick up for him. And, he's like, I saw you kill your boss. And then, Audrey kill him, and then they feed him to the plant. Now Audrey and them together. And now Audrey is in on it. And then, they feed him. And now all of a sudden, the plant got to go. But it didn't happen that way. I could whoop Seymour ass for feeding the damn plant blood when they asked for it the first time anyway, because it's like, nigga, plants don't eat blood. Like, he should have knew, like, something was up. Now, one of my favorite things I've noticed is how the plant is or brings out one of the 7 deadly sins in the movie. So, of course, Seymour represents pride, and the boss
and envy, yes, and greed,
right. And lust.
It's kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
And, the plant itself represents like gluttony, like the need for blood, the eventual want for power, and wrath. And Seymour also represents sloth, for knowing that the plant eats people and needs blood, and fresh blood, and continuing to supply the blood to the plant. So, you got a problem? I don't know. Mel at the door.
Hey, Mel.
No,
hey, Mel.
I scared her away. Okay. Overall, will I watch this movie again? Yes. Yeah, I would watch it again. I gave it a 93 overall. It would have been a perfect score if I felt like the conflict between Audrey and Seymour should have been a little bit more entertaining, but it wasn't.
Okay. My favorite character in this, believe it or not, is the dentist. The reason why is because I love the versatility of Steve Martin. Steve Martin is not just a good comedic actor, but I think we've seen in those cheaper about a dozen movies. He's just a good actor. And there's some other movies that I can't think of like the name of, but I've seen roles. It was like, yeah, Steve Martin is always that guy.
Oh man, I hate to cut you off though. It's another movie he played in as a dentist, and it was like murder and shit. I swear I can't think of the name. But y'all need to watch this. This is a good ass movie. At the end, he pulled all his teeth out, and like, I gotta find that movie.
I think he was also in a movie as an evangelical preacher who was kind of a charlatan. Like, I think so. And
I've heard of that one for sure.
He was good in it. He was good.
Yeah.
I have a really random memory of watching that movie and eating some of my grandma tea cakes. It was amazing. I don't know why. That's so random. But yeah, him as a dentist and how over the top ridiculous the acting is, love it. I love it. I think one of the interesting things I found out about the Plant is he is the guy who voices is an actual musician and a well-respected musician at that. Like, he was signed to Chess Records at one point. I think he was in Four Tops.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Levi Stubbs.
Yeah, Levi Stubbs.
So yeah, it's the song where she's singing about like the life after, like looking at the magazine and saying,
Somewhere That's Green.
Look, I enjoyed the song back then, but watching it and listening to it now, I can only think about that shit that Family Guy did to it. And I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. Why did they ruin this for me, man?
Damn.
I really enjoyed this shit. Why did they ruin it? This movie came out the year I was born. I found that out after like doing some research on it. But I had, as a kid, I had been watching Martin before I actually seen this show. So seeing Tisha Campbell and like, yo, that ain't her singing, man. They just put somebody in the movie just to put somebody in the movie. Like, that ain't her. And then I think like some months or like a year or so later, I seen her in School Days. I'm like, wait a minute. There might be something to this whole...
Tashina is in there too. Like, it's Gina
and I was thinking, these motherfuckers ain't singing for real. That ain't them. It was like, and yo, after School Days, it made me revisit both of them. Like, oh, well, shit, maybe they can do that. Others said, well, why ain't they singing then? Why are they doing this acting shit? And I didn't know acting was the thing over the singing. But it reminded me of how much I love musicals. But it also reminded me that I cannot watch that movie again right back to back like that. Like, I would have to watch it again like 2 years from now or something, because it's a lot to take in because it's so ridiculous. It's amazing, but it's amazingly ridiculous. And that's what I love the most about it, is how ridiculous over the top. Look, I would say this about what's the dude's name? Shit, now I'm forgetting his name that quick. Rick Moranis. You probably could have put anybody else in that role, honestly. And I don't have a problem with Rick Moranis.
I agree.
But you could have put anybody else there. And I felt like that one was interchangeable. And what he contributes to the role, especially with singing, I felt like, okay, it fits the character. Like, why would I expect this character to have this legendary voice? So it makes sense. But yeah, you could have stuck anybody in there and it would have worked. One
like
last
who?
point.
No.
I have no idea.
Like who?
I have no idea. No idea.
Like who?
You could have stuck anybody else in that month.
Hillary, I'm with you on that one.
River
Like,
Phoenix.
On that one.
River
Honestly,
Phoenix. River Phoenix.
honestly, Rick Moranis,
No.
every role that he's had, you could have put anybody else in there. They could have.
You know what? Steve Martin could have done. He could have been a pretty good Seymour.
No.
Could have been a
Yeah.
matter of fact.
I would have believed
Martin,
that.
Steve Martin would have been a more memorable one.
I'll give you that.
Jesus
He
Christ.
would have been a more memorable one. One last.
I'm sorry.
They
It's your
tried-
opinion. I can't critique your opinion.
And here's the thing: I'm not saying I don't like Rick Moranis.
That's actually what it does sound like you're saying, actually,
sounds
because
like
you literally
Rick
just said
Moranis.
any role that Rick Moranis have played, you could put somebody else in
It
that
sound
role.
like you said he asked
Because-
trash. That's what it sound like you said.
Yeah, I mean, which is fine. I mean, feel how you feel. I mean,
I'm saying that. I'm saying that because every time I think about him on screen, it's almost like, all right, that's just another guy there. That's cool. I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's not fucking up. He's
Okay.
not doing a
Okay.
bad job. It's just that I can see right through this person as a character, and that's okay. There are certain actors who get the role and make the role. He gets the role and
He
becomes
managed
what
the role.
is.
He was a role manager.
That's it.
Old man.
That's exactly.
Jesus Christ.
There was plans for a remake in 2020. Some of the people who were going to be involved. The two people that I remember that stuck out to me that was going to be involved. One I thought was excellent. The other I thought, why are you doing this? Scarlett Johansson was going to be a part of it. And I was thinking, why are you doing this? Y'all could pick somebody else. And not for the same reason as Rick Moranis. It's just, Scarlett Johansson has a little bit of range. And I say that because I've seen her in the Marvel movies, of course, but I also seen her in that Valentine's Day type movie where she played the side woman where I was like, oh, this is an interesting role for her. And she was decent, except for her trying to bring up the emotion after leaving that guy's office or whatever. It's like, I didn't believe that, but okay. Billy Porter was going to voice Audrey too. And I was like, that is the one.
Oh my God.
That is the one.
Oh,
I would have been for that.
Who?
Billy Porter. Audrey too. I thought that was perfect. That would have been perfect. Super perfect. But I don't know what happened to it. They canceled it. If I'm giving the movie a grade, I'm going 89, 90 in that range. Only because the reason why it's so high is because I love how ridiculous it is. The reason why it's not higher is because, again, Rick Moranis blends into the wall. And, he's not a stain on the wall, but he blends in.
Audrey was blowing on his ass in them songs for real.
Interesting.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you hear me? But I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna let Son.
Okay. All right. So a little bit of context from my understanding of Little Shop of Horrors. I have both seen Little Shop of Horrors performed, and I have watched the movie numerous times, like to the point where I can recite songs. I love Little Shop of Horrors. It's a fantastic musical. I don't find myself going back to the movie very often. And I think my biggest thing with that is that the play is longer. So kind of like Lionel, what you were saying, like it's like in my thing with the movie, it seems fast. Like it goes really fucking quick. Whereas the play doesn't go as quick. There's a little bit more stuff involved in there. But taking all of that out, I think the best thing that Little Shop of Horrors does, like the 1985 movie, and this is gonna sound so bad, but I think it works. They all look like they're from Skid Row. Like no one looks like they shouldn't be from Skid Row. If you had taken Little Shop of Horrors and overproduced the hell out of it, it would have not translated in the way that it did. So like Seymour is a fucking idiot. He is the dumbest person in that entire movie. How he's portrayed as the nerd blows my mind, especially when you realize that this was written in the 60s.
Yeah.
This play was written is 1960. So when you're talking like stereotypical shit, and Seymour is a damn idiot. Let's talk about all the ways that Seymour is a damn idiot. Number one, you bought this plant on a total eclipse of the sun that wasn't on the table from some old man who was like, yeah, I'll sell it to you. I didn't know where the fuck it came from. Sure, you can have it. And your ass just decided, oh yeah, this is the plan I'm gonna get. Like, okay, first off, number one. Number two, you could have found any other way to attempt to kill Orin the dentist. Like, I mean, my God, you go in for a written down scheduled appointment where you're gonna go in there, you're gonna shoot him and walk out and pretend like nobody saw. Like, you're lucky the gas because honestly, Seymour's the dumbest person in this movie, but he's also the luckiest person in this movie because truthfully he should not have gotten as far as he did. My favorite character in this movie is a very obscure character, and there's a reason why. In the first song, Down on Skid Row, when all those extras are like yelling, like down on Skid Row, it cuts to like, and I could replay this in my mind 100 times. That old woman with the fucked up teeth who's like angry as shit, and then they cut to that black man who like kicks the thing, goes down on Skid. I love it. I love it every time. Every time, it is my favorite part of the whole movie. You go back and watch it. That man puts more energy into those 3 words than anybody else in this entire movie. And it is my favorite thing of the movie. I hate Audrey. I hate Audrey with a passion. Because the thing is, it's the voice. It is absolutely the goddamn voice. And look, she could sing her ass off. Yeah. And honestly, and again, this is like a creative choice by the person who wrote it, like by the movie. So I get that. Audrey's voice is insanely annoying.
It's kind of like Ariana Grande when she was doing that shit with Nickelodeon, I think. Was it? Like show she was doing. The shows that she was doing,
Yeah, that like it just, but it's like that times like 10. And I get the whole thing of the movie is supposed to be like this over-exaggerated like parody of like horror movies at the time with a little bit of a message. Like, it's not meant to be taken seriously.
Yeah, it's camp.
Yeah, it's camp. It's 100% what it is.
Right.
However, we could have toned Audrey down like a little bit. I mean, look, you want a Broadway performance with Audrey and that high-pitched ass, whatever, that's fine. I have no problem with that. And again, she could sing her ass off. Hands down, the best singer. It's like her, Audrey 2, and Audrey 2, Audrey, yes.
Tashina Arnold and Tisha Campbell.
They're coming
saying circles around literally everybody in this movie.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you have your opinion, but you click.
No, listen. I get it, but there's something, and it honestly might have to do more with the performance.
We supposed to be letting everybody have their own opinion, but I want you to go and put in some headphones before you finish that opinion. Put in some headphones and go listen to "Reach Out, I'll Be There" by the Four Tops, and then come back to this podcast and you tell me.
But I feel like you're missing what I'm saying, though.
Go ahead.
Because I'm not saying that these are the best singers in the movie. I'm saying for the performance that they gave, these are the best people, which would be Audrey 2, and the Supreme. I forget what they're called exactly. I forget what their role is specifically. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but the chorus, the chorus girls, the 3 y'all are talking about, like those are your top 3. I don't remember what the role is exactly. I think they're called like the skidettes or something like that. But Those are my top 3 when it comes to musical performances for this specific thing, because Audrey doesn't sound like that in real life. That ain't what she sounds like. But one of my biggest things where I come to appreciate musicals, and where I think movies sometimes don't do musicals justice, is when they don't put the same inflection that is meant to go with what's happening. Like, they focus too well on, like, we got to have the best music possible, but you forget that you're playing a character. Like, I think a perfect example of this, of like doing this really well outside of Audrey, is John Travolta in Hairspray. John Travolta in Hairspray did a phenomenal job in that movie, because he took his own singing ability, but turned it into Trixie's mom. So that's like an important like thing there. I like Steve Martin as a dentist, but I will say, I do think you get more of the character of the dentist in the production as opposed to the movie itself. Really? I really do, because the dentist is meant to be this over-the-top greaser, but like a sadomasochist, like, or just like a sadist, like an absolutely psychopathic sadist. So with that being said, I think Steve Martin did about as good of a job as what they gave him. I do think, given the more larger role that the production brings, I do think that would be better. Audrey 2 is my, outside of that one man singing in the beginning, Audrey 2 is my favorite character in the whole damn thing. I love Audrey 2. I love the snarkiness. Truthfully, I think Audrey 2 has more personality than the entirety of the characters of Little Shop of Horrors combined. Because Seymour is a dopey idiot. Audrey is a and mind you, they're meant to be this way. So I'm not even trying to be insulting, but Seymour is a dopey idiot who gets lucky and is just riding his success. Audrey is this like timid, like wanting to be, free from her super abusive, super abusive boyfriend. So they're ridiculous. So there is a scene that they kind of touch on in the movie that it gets a little bit more in the production. When he rides in on the motorbike without her, and she's like running behind him, and she's like, "Stupid girl, you fell off the motorbike." Damn. In the production, he knocks her off the motorbike. And then tells her, because she said something, and then berates her as she's got like she's in like a cast and shit. Like it's a whole other thing. And so I think, unfortunately for me, I don't go back to Little Shop of Horrors very often because of the fact that I know a lot of the other like bigger stuff in it. And I do feel like that the movie was rushed. I do feel like the movie was low production. And that takes away a little bit of the experience for me.
Hey, you're supposed to watch the movie without buying.
That's exactly what I was about to say, nigga. What was the you watched? What was the non-partisan?
I can't. It's hard for me to do so because I'm watching it and I'm trying to like separate what I know, but it doesn't work though. And it's not even that. Take like the production stuff out of it. The movie is still super low budget. The movie is still like
it's camp.
I credited,
it's camp, but even there are camps that are a little bit higher production than that.
Get like the fuck out. No, I'm gonna wait.
Camp has its lane, and I think Little Shop of Horrors is a phenomenal. I think it's a great movie. Me personally, I don't give it above an 85, and I think there's just a variety of reasons. I think it's too quick. I think they don't put a lot of focus into why Audrey 2 has so much of a handle over Seymour. In the movie, they make it kind of look like that Seymour just wants success, but it's more than that. It's 100% more than that. And I don't think they touch on that enough. So it kind of just makes Seymour look like a dick, which he's not because he's too stupid to be a fucking dick. Like that's just kind of where I'm at. So I give it an 85. Would I watch it again? I've watched it 100 times. So I mean, yeah, I'd watch it again, but you know, I don't like to. It's not going to be in my regular rotation.
I got you.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. I don't like how after I talk about my opinion on shit, Lionel's got to sit there and put his head in his hands. Like I don't want him out with his opinion.
He just do the same for me. So, you know, like I expressed this movie.
Because I thought we were supposed to be like, you know, respecting people's opinions here.
I didn't say anything.
You ain't gotta say anything. You sitting there in the camera.
He said you ain't gotta say too much from the look of your eyes.
Like a thing.
Listen. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
And I kept mine to myself. I just put my hand on my face.
I gotta tell y'all my critique of this movie. First of all, I'm the one that picked the movie. This is my favorite movie of all time. But I'm gonna attempt to explain it without bias. Okay, y'all just stop me from doing too much. Sure. Firstly, as I was saying, Little Shop of Horrors is very camp. I'm a very big fan of camp. So I could watch like Little Shop of Horrors, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I could watch that all day. And I could draw comparisons between them all day. Y'all need to watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's amazing. I don't have a least favorite or most favorite character. I feel like all of them gel and mesh accordingly. But I'm a big fan of movie musicals. So when I first heard the song, I was like, is this Dreamgirls? Like, it's Dreamgirls. Like, they sound the fuck good. So, like I said, I'm a big fan of music. So they actually didn't have a name. The girl group didn't have a name. They were named after girl groups. So it was Crystal, Chiffon, and Ronettes. That were those. They were named after girl groups. So
I love that name.
Levi Stubbs is one of the best to me. He is one of the best vocalists of the 60s. Right behind David Ruffin and Dennis. Coconut Money.
Oh, that's saying a lot.
You talking about old crack mouth?
Man, cut it out. Y'all, let's not get back on that man, yo.
Man, look.
So Levi Stubbs was because a side note on Levi Stubbs. The song that I just referenced, which is "Reach Out, I'll Be There" by the Four Tops.
Yeah.
The engineer told him, "I want you to sing as hard as you can, and when you can't sing harder, scream." And that's literally what he was doing on that song, and you can hear it. But he never lost his life.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So I love Levi Stubbs. You was not going to slander Levi Stubbs to me, Sean.
I didn't slander Levi Stubbs. Whoa! How did I slander Levi Stubbs?
I did. Also, the actress that played Audrey, she also originated the role of Audrey on Broadway. So her voice was a surprise to me. She was singing her throat out.
I know.
Especially Suddenly Seymour. She took out.
Shit.
But yeah,
Seymour. I could go my whole life.
Okay, hold up.
Come on, Rita.
Pause. Nigga, don't ever do that shit again.
But that's what she sounds like.
No, she did not sound like that.
To me,
yes, the fuck
vocals.
she did.
That's vocals.
It is. It's hence why.
Yeah.
All right, I don't like how I'm being told I'm slandering. I haven't slandered nobody yet.
Okay, no, you know what? I lied because there is a character that I don't like. Fuck Mr. Mushnick. Because first of all, he didn't even adopt Seymour formally, but he got free labor that know everything about plants living under his plant shop. And then when my nigga got a little taste, he was like, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm doing? I'm gonna take that from you. He a fuck nigga.
At gunpoint. At fucking gunpoint.
He a fuck nigga.
Like
first thing I want to say is you fuck.
He comes out the fucking he comes out the shadows and he goes, I saw everything.
Like what's up? You know, this thing was sucking on my finger, not yours. So I don't know what you feel like you want to do about this situation, but you know what I think? And that's the one time that Seymour actually stood up for himself the whole movie. You know what? You ain't gonna take this from me. You know, the girls in the background talking some come on.
Oh, I love it.
I love a good scene set. I love a good mood. So I just love the movie. Overall, for me, this movie is like a 96. This is a very guilty pleasure of mine.
So can y'all imagine what the Generation Z dark version of Little Shop of Horrors will look like? Because Generation Z is they flip shit and it don't be that bad. Like the way they flip Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the way somebody flipped Power Rangers that was only on YouTube that old boy got mad about. The Green Ranger. That nigga was pissed about that. He did not like how dark that shit was.
I'm not a fan of the new Fresh Prince either.
But I'm not a fan. And I think what goes with the problem with what they're doing, and which I think there's a lane for it, but like for like people like Hillary, she would never watch a remake of Little Shop of Horrors because it's exactly what it is. It's camp. It's meant to be.
Oh no. That's
that low point. Like shit. Like so there's no you can't turn it into a drama. Like that's not
no
Little Shop of Horrors is not a drama.
No. I wouldn't want it to be a drama, just straight horror. No comedy.
Oh
no.
I would watch a remake of Little Shop of Horrors.
And I'm not saying it'll be good. I would just be willing to watch it.
Yeah. If Jordan Peele did it, I'd rewatch it. With the singing.
No, you know what? No, because that's just like saying I'm gonna remake Jeepers Creepers, but it's gonna be a dramedy.
If Jordan Peele remade Jeepers Creepers, I'd watch it too.
I definitely
but I feel like
I don't know.
But again, I feel as though and I think part of like the camp aspect of Little Shop of Horrors is that if you remake Little Shop of Horrors with Jordan Peele, you just get a regular ass horror movie.
Yep.
There's nothing special about it. It's going to be a middle of the road, like.
Oh, I don't think it'll be middle of the road horror only because we know where it's coming from.
I didn't say remake it as horror. I just said if Jordan Peele remade it, I'd watch it again.
No, I'm saying like even with Jordan Peele, the camp would be lost.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
But see, here's the thing: if you're remaking it, I don't want it to be a musical because you're not going to be able to do what the original did. It's going to look forced. It's not going to sound good. No matter who's doing the singing, it's not good. I'm just imagining it as a straight horror to see just how dark it can get.
Dark as fuck. Like,
because like
dark as shit.
Yeah, I mean,
all right. Who won the movie again?
I did.
What's the movie?
I have two options.
Because you see, no,
pick
hold on, I'm sorry.
a movie.
Hold on. Because I gotta get. Do you remember how on Nightmare on Elm Street? I don't know if it's just me. You remember the original Nightmare on Elm Street where it was supposed to be scary, but it was funny as fuck?
You're talking to
really funny.
You're talking to the wrong person when it comes. You talk to the wrong person when it comes to horror. You talking to the wrong person. Ain't a bit of horror I'm gonna have.
Pick a movie.
Right. So I'm gonna ask a question before I pick, and the question is gonna determine which movie I pick.
No, just pick.
Fuck you. This is what I'm gonna do.
How do you pick a goddamn movie? So
I am gonna pick a movie. Yeah, I am gonna pick a movie. How do y'all feel about music? How do y'all feel about musicals?
It doesn't matter what we think. Pick the movie and we'll review it.
Yeah.
That's how this whole thing works.
Yeah, whatever you pick, I'm with it.
So, nigga, we're gonna be watching Temptations next week.
Yeah, whatever you pick.
Y'all better be glad. Speaking of
like
y'all,
just pick a movie. It don't matter what we think.
Wait,
pick it.
If it's on Netflix or Hulu, I'm in there with you.
Okay.
I have HBO Max, so I'll share my password.
Okay.
And then change
so
it.
I'm gonna pick 2015's Dope.
Okay.
Dope.
2015's Dope.
Okay. See how that wasn't hard, was it, Sean?
That wasn't, but I had a
COYOTE, the word of God, but you can't pick a goddamn movie. See, that's your problem.
I mean, I picked the movie.
Because all he had to do was say, "Oh," and then they said, "Ooh," and they said, "Praise the Lord" at the end. So that's not hard.
It's actually a little more difficult than that.
That
because
wasn't
the thing is, the inflections of the howls are what get the thing across. There's a very fine line in between like devil worshiping in COYOTE and like God worshiping in COYOTE. There's a real fine line. You get run out of those COYOTE dens real quick.
Why you?
Did you get one of them to say cock-a-doodle-doo?
I didn't try it, but next time I will.
That's his problem now. He out here trying to teach the word of God to a coyote.
He need to be getting up.
How you out here trying to teach the word of G-O-D to a D-O-G? See, you moving backwards, player.
Moving backwards.
Moving backwards.
See, while you out there teaching that D-O-G, the word of G-O-D, you need to be down there trying to get your LLC. That's your fucking problem.
So
that's the only word that'll remain.
So I guess now is my time to make my big announcement. I had a big announcement I was going to make at the end of the episode. So I guess now's my time to make a big announcement. I have recently purchased an LLC that is all about teaching the word of God to coyotes and pigeons so that coyotes and pigeons can be able to live together in harmony.
I just want to say we predicted this shit 2 weeks ago. Did we not? Did we not say he was gonna come back and be an LLC?
I want to know what the name of the LLC is. What's the name of the LLC?
The name of the LLC is
Gay Wiener Schnitzel.
Oh God. Oh God. That is AWOOGOD, and shit. Yes, I have it, and yes, I have it copyrighted. So if you know any coyotes or pigeons, let them know about Awugad.
Always trying to get a nigga to tap in. Ain't that something?
I do. I am accepting
always
donations.
Try to get a nigga to tap in.
I am accepting donations.
How you gonna teach a coyote to flip $100 to $800?
We're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna start with like little prairie dogs, and then we'll move from there. Eventually, we'll get to the currency.
This man out here trying to teach
that's racist.
How to flip an armadillo to a rabbit. See, man, get out of here, man. Get
out of here with all that. All right, so Don Tolliver's Heaven or Hell. It's the album.
Can I get 5 minutes to go back over what I missed last week, though?
No.
5 minutes?
No.
2 minutes?
No.
Come on.
No.
2 minutes?
No.
I have text messages that show that you gave
that
me.
That is expired.
Talking about text messages.
I have text messages.
That's expired.
Two statements.
Don Tolliver's. You got 30 seconds. Go.
I got 30 seconds.
You got 10 seconds.
I got 10 seconds. Okay, so first off, I love the album. Unfortunately, when I went back and listened to it, I didn't think it was that great. However, One Train is my favorite song on there.
Okay, done. Shut the fuck up.
Can I go first?
Oh, wait. One quick thing I learned about One Train. It was gonna be Drake's beat, but he turned it down.
He did.
Got to mention
he did turn it down. And then ASAP Rocky went out and said, you know what? I'm not that good of a rapper. So I'm gonna go get a bunch of other people. And we don't need Yellow Wolf on there. I don't know where Yellow Wolf came from.
We don't need Yellow Wolf on the song. We don't need him.
At one point in time, Yellow Wolf in that song. At one point in time, Yellow Wolf goes nothing but a buckshot, chick pow, and I hate that. Because then he follows it up with motherfuck your life, pussy blood clot. And I don't think those two things need to be together.
No, they don't.
I
literally said last week, and I'm gonna jump on right back off. This was during the time where people were confused. Is Yellow Wolf good or not? This was right around that time.
He's not.
And it didn't take much longer for people to realize, like, you know what? I don't want to stick around and find out.
Yeah, there's not much there. But I just want to say, hey, that's y'all Alabama dude right there. Y'all can have Yellow Wolf. That's y'all Alabama man.
Okay, hold on.
That's y'all Alabama man.
We do not
claim.
That
is very disrespectful.
We don't claim him.
He even says it in the song.
I don't care if he said it in the
song. Until the next big artist come through, Alabama's music representation is the last Mr. Biggs.
Last Mr. Biggs.
That's fine, but Radioactive did go did what he say? It went gold or something?
Hey,
I don't know.
Look, but wait a
minute.
Did
Mr. Biggs go gold?
But wait a minute. Look,
in the South he did. Yes, the fuck he did.
Play with him.
Don't do that.
I was at a Jay-Z concert.
What the fuck that got to do with anything?
I was at a Jay-Z concert and he shouted out Doe B. So, all right, I'm pretty sure Doe B album did do some numbers when it came out. I know that single did. Let me find out. Let me find out did some numbers.
Kimo Sabi did some numbers too.
Kimo Sabi did do numbers.
I believe that too.
Okay. Don Tolliver's Heaven and Hell. Who wants to go first?
Me first.
Hey.
Me first. I go first.
No, you go first. Go ahead.
I want to go first. Okay. Because y'all know I'm never long with it. I'm gonna just tell you how I feel. Okay. So I listened to the album all the way through, and then I listened to it song by song because I'm weird like that. Okay. My first impression of listening to the album, I was like, this is a vibe. And it's weird because I can't tell you what the songs are track by track because the whole album sounds like he was like, I'm just going to the studio, I'm gonna just record. And like the songs flowed into each other. It's like he just changed the beat. So it was like this one long vibe ass song. And I can't say I don't fuck with it. Mm-hmm. He gave me like Party Next Door vibes. It was like a little lo-fi hip-hop vibe, and I fuck with it. But I wouldn't say there was one particular part of the one song that stuck out to me for real. I just like the whole, like I listened to I know After Party. I heard After Party before. But you know, I listened to it, just like, it put me in the mind of like just riding around, cruising the city at night, just eating French fries, you know, like vibing basically. So I fuck with it. I added it to my Apple Music, like library. But I can't just say, oh, this one song though, like
I feel
the intro got me. I liked it. Heaven or Hell, I liked the first song, but after that I didn't even look at my phone anymore. I just listened to it. So my grade for this album would probably be like a B plus. And I definitely would listen to it again.
Okay. What I would say about it is, after listening to it, this was my introduction to Don Toliver, honestly. He is Travis Scott light. That's what I got from him. Hillary made a good point in how the album doesn't seem to have like any high peaks or low valleys. It's just sort of like, you know, it moves a little bit along the same line. And the reason why is because there are only 3 producers on this album. And 2 of them make the whole album. One of them I know for sure is a lady by the name of Wonder Girl.
Oh yes, Wonder Girl is on this album, and I love Wonder Girl.
Yeah.
Who Wonder also, Girl, by the way, works a lot with Travis Scott.
The tail. I'm gonna keep my finger.
There you go. So that makes sense. Wonder Girl, I did enjoy Wonder Girl's beats. The other, I forgot the name of the other producer on there, but the beats that I heard from him sounded like what a producer was trying to do to sound like Metro Boomin. But what I can give for a grade is a B minus. It was right there on C plus, but the only reason why I boost up to a B minus is I liked Cardigan, if I'm remembering it correctly. Cardigan was a cool song. I remember, like you said, I remember After Party, and what was it? The song Spaceship. Spaceship was good, and yeah, and of course I like Wonder Girl beats. So yeah, B minus.
All right. So I actually really like Don Toliver. He is someone who I can catch myself listening to a decent amount. I understand his limitations. And prior to this, I would say my favorite project by Don Toliver was Donnie Womack. It's a Purple album with him upside down on it. I love that album.
Check that out. I like the name. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, Donnie Womack. However, I did the advice that I didn't do with the movie because it was just impossible with the movie. And I took everything that I know about, you know, this Don Toliver and what I like about him out of it. And I went through and I listened to this album. And I like it more than I did when I had all the knowledge of Don Toliver. I thought, so first off, I'm a big voice person. I like when someone has a good voice, and I think Don Toliver has a fantastic voice for what he does. I think he's got good vocal control for when he's putting out his bars and everything like that. I do think he could be a little monotone sometimes. And I do think that holds him back a little bit. But overall, I really enjoyed this album. I've listened to this album before, but again, I took everything out of it. So when I started with Heaven or Hell, I think I was gaming at the time that I was listening to the album. And I put it on and I was listening to it and I was like, okay, I don't remember the song like hitting like this. Because prior to this, the songs that I knew were Euphoria, which I don't like at all. Cardigan, After Party, Wasted, Can't Feel My Legs, Had Enough, and No Idea. Those were the songs I knew. Now, to be honest, all of those I still absolutely enjoy. But there were a couple that I really enjoyed after that, such as like Heaven or Hell, Spaceships, like you said. I thought Sheck West did fantastic on that. And No Photos.
Yeah.
So overall, there are only 3 songs on this album I don't like.
Oh wow.
So now I will say my favorite song on this album is Cardigan. Cardigan from the time I listened to it just stuck in my head. I will walk around places and hear I finna stand tall in it. I'm all in it. You be on my back like a cardigan. I hear it all the fucking time. So because of that, right. And mind you, I think Cardigan was a weird thing to use. I think Don Toliver's a weird dude. I think he says things sometimes that like really are just interesting. When I first got exposed to Don Toliver, I definitely got the Travis Scott vibe out of it.
Yep.
Over time of listening to him, I have started to kind of differentiate them on a very particular thing. For this one, I took it out. I think this album is the furthest away he has been from Travis Scott. And that includes his most recent album and Donnie Womack. And I think where he gets away from Travis Scott, even though Travis Scott is on the album and he does work with Travis Scott, I think he just kind of puts a little bit more of himself in that. He's talking about his own experiences. He's talking about his own vibes. He's using his voice. The auto-tune, in my opinion, isn't overbearing. I think it's right where it needs to be because I don't think he could sing. So
real quick, what I appreciate about artists like him and Travis Scott is they give you a different view of Texas when it comes to that style of music.
Definitely.
Like when you think about Texas, you think about UGK or you think about Slim Thug or Megan. Now people think about Toby. You don't really, when you think about Travis Scott, you think more broad than just Texas. Yeah. And honestly, after listening to this one album from Don Toliver, when I hear him, I don't think, oh, Texas. No. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that they're not just, associated with a state sound like that.
I think my biggest takeaway from Don Toliver, and this is a little bit of an unpopular one because I don't think people feel the same way I do. He is a chorus god. He is a chorus god. I just go through, Cardigan. I just did Cardigan. Okay, I'll pull up. How about other after? Like, I just think he has this incredibly catchy rhythm to what he does in some of these songs.
Kind of like Drake in that regard.
Truly, because honestly, Don Toliver's bars are not that good. They're really not. But when it comes to these choruses, that's what I remember. Like, I remember Cardigan, After Party, him going, wasted.
Right.
I can't feel my legs. Like, I don't know. Just, it all just sticks. And
I could see him more successful as a writer than an artist.
Well, okay, so a little bit of background on Don Toliver and the Wonder Girl Travis Scott connection. Don Toliver is a writer. He wrote for some years prior to him putting out his stuff. Don Toliver is actually a pretty good writer. just not in the bars on bars on bars. He gets some every now and then. You'll hear it every now and then. You'll be like, okay. Like for example, the Cardigan song. I think Cardigan, you be on my back like a cardigan is unique.
Yeah.
I don't think it's getting across what he is trying to get across.
And
but
here's the thing: I don't need you to smash me over the head with every song,
right.
every verse.
Yeah.
Just wild bars. So I appreciate that, and like I didn't know he was writing before we knew him as an artist. That make a lot of sense.
And then the connection of him and Wonder Girl. So Wonder Girl is one of the, if not the most prolific like female producer. And before she became like really, really big, there was an artist who worked with her back in the day to make a certain project that really put him on the map and really led to other things. And that person was, or the name of that album was Owl Pharaoh by Travis Scott. Wonder Girl produced the entirety of Owl Pharaoh, which has mixed reviews, but I think is probably the most pure Travis we get. But Wonder Girl has been working with Travis Scott since like 2010. And so her and Travis Scott go way back, and Travis and Don Toliver are really close. And so I'm pretty sure throughout everything, they got introduced. And since then, I think Wonder Girl's done a lot of production for Don Toliver. So that's where that connection comes from. Overall, I give the album I'm gonna give it a B plus. I think prior I gave it a B, so I'm gonna give it a B plus. I think there are some positive aspects of this album. I think it's held back by his lack of bars, and it does kind of go quick. It is 36 minutes, so it goes quick. It
does go quick,
and some of the songs feel like they cut off a little early. But I don't, and sometimes I get bored. So I'm not gonna give it an A, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy it way more than I did the first time I listened to it. And I listened to it about 4 or 5 times this week. So when I go back and listen to it again, I have multiple times. So that's my thing on Heaven or Hell. And I think let me make sure I did everything, because I wrote down some notes at a point.
See that bounce?
I said Heaven or Hell sets the tone for production.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it really sets the tone for like where you go in the album. And Euphoria, I do not like Euphoria. I think it was this odd attempt at a sensual radio hit, and it did not land.
Okay.
It did not land.
Okay.
It's like, because you go from like Heaven or Hell, like the excellent production, a little bit of high tempo, to Euphoria. I'm drowning in Euphoria.
It could have been deeper in the album. Yeah. It could have been deeper in the album.
Yeah, but that's really the main stuff. Candy I wasn't a big fan of, and Company I'm just kind of on. But the rest of it, I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I listened to this album about 4 or 5 times this week. I listened to it 2 times today.
Damn,
well, 4 or 5 times last week, and 2 times today.
Okay.
And the more I listened to this album, the more I fucking hated it.
Yeah, I was about to say, you definitely have this face that you don't like the album. So I knew.
Wow. I need to hear this.
I knew that you would go explain yourself, which is okay. So I got notes. Okay.
A lot of notes. Jesus Christ. He's gonna rewrite the whole album just like he tried to rewrite Little Shop of Horrors. But let's go. Come on.
I'm not gonna rewrite the album at all. I didn't rewrite Little Shop of Horrors. I just wish the ending was better.
You changed like 20 things about the plot of the story.
I fucking didn't.
You changed the whole progression of the story. Yes, you did. You changed the order people get killed. You changed the motivations. You changed a whole bunch of shit. You changed the actors. You changed all kinds of shit.
So I went track by track, gave each track a grade, averaged it, gave the album overall grade. Okay. Heaven or Hell, I gave it a 55. a good
Damn.
good beat, I
Damn.
guess. But I mean,
Damn.
I wouldn't have put that album. I wouldn't have put that track to start.
Damn.
Euphoria, I gave it a 45. It was a bad song overall. The only thing that saved it was the fact that Travis Scott was on it. And if it was a radio hit, that's the only reason people would listen to it.
That is the only reason people listen to it, because it was quite garbage.
Cardigan, I gave it a 75. It's a great song, but I just wanted another verse. That's all.
I feel that. I ain't mad at that. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
After Party, I gave it a 90.
Yeah.
It's the best song on the album so far, and the horns is really what brings it out.
Yeah.
If it didn't have the horns in it, it would have been a fucking like 70, honestly.
Yeah.
Wasted, I gave it 85. Has a pretty good hook.
Yeah.
And then I wrote album picks up. Can't Feel My Legs, I gave it a 62.
Oh.
Because it sounds too much like Euphoria to me.
That's interesting.
I can hear that.
I gave Candy a 50 because it's just a dumb fucking hook and it ruined the whole song.
Yeah, Candy shit.
I didn't hate it that much.
Right.
But
I gave Company a 40 because I got tired of hearing this nigga whine. Like after a minute and a half, I just skipped it. I was like, fuck it, I'm tired of this.
I would say it's probably the most forgettable song on the album, for sure.
I gave Had Enough a 93. It was catchy. I really wish that Don Toliver had given us another verse, whether it had been him or had it been Migos.
Yeah.
But Migos always brings the best out of a song. If Migos was not on this song, I probably would have given it like a 76 or 77.
I tried for years to deny how good that group is.
Me too.
I really did. I tried. I know. For it. I really tried, and it got to a point where it's like, you know what? These niggas are good, and it's not, and I'm not just saying this for like my explanation. It's not because Gambit Family, the group I was in, was on the same category in 2013, I think. Somewhere, I forget what year. We was in the same category for a Southern Award show with them. And it wasn't just no competition shit like, oh, I don't like them niggas, Migos. It's just when they first came out with that, what was that song?
Versace.
I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it. And I think they came out with something similar after that. And I was like,
Hannah Montana.
No. I'm not
Hannah
doing
Montana
this
first?
shit.
No, it's all of that. Versace, Hannah Montana, that's all on the same album.
I was like, I'm not doing this shit. But as they progressed, I was like, yo, okay, I fuck with this.
I beat it in the Sean, so don't feel bad.
He did. He absolutely did. And right now,
listen to this album, motherfucker.
And right now, I would like to point out that in my on repeat, Hotel Lobby is one of my like most played songs. Mickey, that has Offset in it. Party by DJ Khaled has, the Takeoff members in it. Yeah, like pretty much a lot of Migos everywhere.
Before Lionel gets back to his review, I do want to say this about Migos. I would love to know how much money they paid Donald Glover after what he said after he got that award that year about Bad and Bougie. Bad and Bougie was a good song before that, but whatever award show that was that year that Donald Glover won something for, he made it his point almost to mention how much he loved Bad and Bougie, and everybody was like, wait a minute, I know I've heard this shit before. And they went to it and the shit blew up. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing it after that. They owe that nigga something because it did give them a boost that I don't know if they would have gotten otherwise.
Uzi ruined that song.
Why he did it?
Uzi did ruin that song.
Yeah.
I turn this shit off every fucking time. Every time he come on, I change the song.
You know what?
I bet you better the bone. Yeah.
I'm not a Uzi hater, but I could have did without that verse.
We wanted a Takeoff verse. That's what we wanted.
Truly.
We wanted that, and Uzi could have did better than what he did. I feel like
that was horrible.
You charged them $200,000 for that shit. Anyway, okay. So Had Enough, I gave it a 93. Migos brought the song out. Spaceship, I gave it a 50 because I don't know how to feel about it.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about Sheck West in that song. If you ask me right now to make a choice, I fucking hated him because he didn't. I mean, the shit sounded stupid to me.
I thought he made the song.
The song was dead before he got to him. He didn't. I mean, he brought it up to the 50 that it is.
Damn.
Okay. No photos, just a no overall. Hate the beat, hate the song, hate everything.
No.
Yeah.
Gave it a 20.
You can really just pass that song.
No Idea. I gave it a 75. It was like somewhat of a shake back to finish the album off.
Yeah.
And I wrote TikTok right next to it because I heard that song on TikTok so much. It's like, y'all motherfuckers need to just stop fucking up the good songs. Stop it.
Oh shit.
So overall grade came out to be a 61.6667. So I'm around you up to a 62. Replay value on this album is a hard no.
Damn.
I will listen to certain songs on the album again multiple times, like Cardigan, After Party, Had Enough, and Wasted, which were already in my rotation anyway.
Okay.
I wrote, this album sounds like an album full of throwaways. That's what I feel like.
Damn.
Yeah, the more I listened to it, the more I hated it. It was obviously rushed. And he paid for it. There is a such thing as too much Travis Scott.
It is. I'll give you that.
This album was definitely pushing, like, damn, nigga, do you want to be Travis Scott or do you want to be Don Toliver?
And see, that's because again, this was my introduction to him. I heard Travis Scott, of course, before I heard him. I was like, yo, this, a lot of this shit sounds like something, it's giving me a vibe I've gotten before. And when I heard Travis Scott on it, I was like, all right, now this shit is making sense.
So my biggest issue with the album was the title, actually. Because with an album title, Heaven or Hell, you could have done so much. Like, but what you gave us was 4 out of 12 good songs. That's 25%. No. That's 33%.
Now that you mention it, I'm with you on giving the album a different title because, like you said, what a title like Heaven or Hell, you can do a lot more. You can give the album a bit more of a theme. You can make half of your album quote heaven and the other half quote
hell. Or you could have made it all like, it depends on how you listen to it, how you take it. The album could be heaven or the album could be hell. There was so much you could have done with it.
Right. This just sounds like we're gonna just name this album this.
Yeah.
I think he should have named it No Idea, honestly. I think that would have been.
I like that. I like that.
After Party would have been
After Party would have made more sense because, you know, Euphoria, Cardigan, Wasted, Can't Feel My Candy, Company, Had Enough. Yeah. After Party would have been a better title.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So I will not be listening to this album again. I like Don Toliver, but I do not like this album.
Okay.
I will say, sorry, one more thing that I thought about when it comes to the connections of Travis Scott and Don Toliver. There's also another connection in there that I don't know if anybody knows. Sheck West. Sheck West is on, if it's not defunct by now, but is one of the Cactus Jack people that Travis Scott has on his like group. Sheck West. Because I remember I listened to the album, I was like, why the fuck is Sheck West on this album? That's an odd person to put on this album, but he's in the posse too. He is in the posse too.
Okay, gotcha.
Sheck West also will never be able to live up to any song he makes after Mo Bamba.
I don't think he wants to.
He can't.
Are you sure?
He can't.
I've looked at what. If you look at his demeanor, he just does not give a shit. Like, he's like, yeah, I would perform Mo Bamba everywhere. Pay me money.
Did that song hurt Mo Bamba? Because after listening to it, I expected Mo Bamba to be the fucking dude in the NBA. That nigga is all but forgotten already. Yeah. And I understand he's in Orlando. If he's still in Orlando. But I expected Mo Bamba to be that guy. And no.
Just ended up being one of his homeboys.
Pretty much.
That'd be like if I made a song called Big Darkness.
Let me see where Mo Bamba at now, because I know I heard about him in some trade rumors recently.
Damn, I think it hurt him because if you type in Mo Bamba into Google, you're not getting the basketball player.
No, he wasn't the first one.
You're not getting the basketball player.
He was not the first one. He was not.
You're getting the Sheck West music video. That's what you're getting.
Damn, this nigga for his career so far is only averaging 7 points and 5 rebounds.
Yeah, he don't do much.
Come on, I wanted to see more, but.
Hey, look, at least Sheck West got Sheck West got faith in him. I think my mistake was I thought Sheck West was calling himself Mo Bamba. I didn't realize that he was making the song.
You know what? I just looked at this and it said, and somebody asked why, and it said it started with a simple request in high school. Mo Bamba just wanted his name thrown in a verse once he caught the word that his friend Sheck West had begun rapping. He just wanted somebody to say his name in a song. The song and the whole song was named after him and did numbers. That's crazy. I like that. That's cool.
So, J.E.'s, what's the album?
What's the album? You know what? I have one that I was thinking about at first. I had 3 actually, but I went with this one. I'll tell you what the other 2 was. One of them, I know for sure you guys haven't heard of it because this is a very new artist and she's still underground. But her name is Sunny Dread. The album.
I feel like I've heard her from you. I've seen that name like on your Facebook. So I feel like that's where I've heard that from. Yeah.
Because I've shared the shit a few times. And
you shared something today, didn't you?
It was probably Friday.
Okay.
That I shared it. And what I shared then was they use her music in this show in Atlanta, and this show is being done in Atlanta by like a bunch of independent people who got together and wanted to do a show. And I seen that clip, and yo, I ain't gonna front with y'all, man. We in the trust tree here. I seen the clip, and the clip was sexy as fuck. I mean, I didn't know really what it was from. I didn't know if it was a music video or what, but I went to it and I seen that it was a show, and I watched the full episode of the show. Now the show isn't for me. I don't even think most of her music is technically for me as a audience. The show is mostly about lesbian women in Atlanta, but what I appreciate about it is the writing of each of the characters. The writing of each of the characters is really good. It's not like low budget writing for them. It's a lot going on. I've watched like 3 or 4 episodes. It was pretty cool. But the name of the album was called Highly Recommended. It'll probably, which is, I like that for a recommended album. And the lead single is Spiritual OG. And when you see Sunny Dread, you think, okay, this is a rapper. And then he was like, nah, she's singing. It's like, oh, well, where's the voice coming from? And it's nothing really like you heard or would expect. So I will recommend it in the future, but that was what I was thinking about first. The other one is Samara Joy. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but Samara Joy, she is 23. And her musical influences are from like the Harlem Renaissance.
Oh, that's dope.
And she sound like them. She sound like Ella Fitzgerald. Legitimately, without even trying. Her last album, her most recent album was an album called Linger a While. It came out last year. She is nominated as Best New Artist for the Grammys. Knowing that category, Esperanza Spalding won that category over Justin Bieber years ago. So I feel good about Samara's chances. The only thing I want is for them to let Samara sing, because I'm telling you, for this lady to be 23 and sound like she was time traveled to where we are now, it is remarkable every time you hear it. After this, I post in the group, I post a video like her last music video, so y'all get the picture of it. But that is another album I thought about because I've been listening to it lately. But the one that I'm going with is the one that I listen to at least 3 or 4 times a month. I ain't gonna say it's like every week or every day. It's called May the Lord Watch by Lil Brother. And this album is important because Lil Brother was all but broken up. Night Wonder wasn't working with them anymore. And these niggas are much older than what they were when their last album came out.
You posted this recently.
May the Lord Watch. Yeah.
You posted this recently.
I was listening to it last week. And I posted a full verse from one of the songs. Now, I will tell y'all this. When y'all listening to the album, if y'all haven't heard their classic album, The Minstrel Show, there are going to be some skits that you may not understand. And I'm only telling you about The Minstrel Show if you want to understand what those skits are about. It's one of those albums, like from the time where people were making full albums and putting skits in their albums and telling a story with the album. It's one of those.
You know, I think it's so funny you bring up The Minstrel Show, because what I was about to tell you is that the only experience I have from Little Brother is from you, because back in the day, when we were doing the hip hop listening club, the first album that you came with when I got in there was Little Brother's Minstrel Show.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
all right.
So this is full circle. May the Lord,
full circle.
May the Lord watch Little
Lord
Brother.
watch.
And what movie?
Dope.
Now, last subject of the day.
Hold up.
J.E.'s.
My audio went out. Hold up.
Sean thought I let the shit die, and I haven't.
Let what die?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
How do you describe J.E.'s a receiver who has hands?
Are you kidding me? This is where we're going?
Shut the fuck up. I'm talking to Jay.
Have mercy.
How do you describe? Wait. Mic check, Jay. Mic check.
There we go.
Okay. How do you describe a wide receiver with hands? Like if a receiver has hands, what is that in your book?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
Now you said hi, and now you can go.
She's like, all right, I'm out.
A wide receiver with hands. I simply describe them, and I'm no bullshit. I simply describe them as Randy Moss.
Say that again.
Randy Moss, a wide receiver with hands. And I know you didn't ask for an example. That's just how I describe wide receiver with hands.
Randy Moss.
Okay. Sean, how do you describe a wide receiver with hands?
Not answer this fucking
Answer the question. No, seriously. Answer the question.
Not answer this fucking question. For me, a receiver that has hands is someone who could catch the ball contested on a consistent basis.
I like that.
I say that a wide receiver with hands catches way more balls than he drops.
You also say Tyreek Hill has hands, and that's where we disagree.
Do you look, Tyreek? Come on, man.
Okay, hold on, Jay. Hold on, Jay.
Keep saying that after this season.
Hold on.
Tell
the people why you believe Tyreek Hill doesn't have hands.
Okay, so let's get some context.
I'm gonna mute my mic and let you speak until you say I'm done.
Oh,
okay?
Shit! Until I say what?
Until you say you're done talking about why you think Tyreek Hill doesn't have hands.
All right. So let me give some context first. So context, and I'm gonna try to make this quick because regardless of whether we got anything after this, I'm out because I'm not gonna sit here and deal with this months after. Hey, when we do it. So I think it was actually the first episode that Jay-E's was on. He had walked away, and Lionel and I had a very heated argument that I still have saved of me saying that I think Tyreek Hill doesn't have hands. And every time that I have said on this podcast that we're going to put out some extra clips, that's been what it's going to be. So let me start off by saying I'm not hiding. I just forget about it, but I'm not hiding. So let's start there. Number 2, the whole Tyreek Hill doesn't have hands. Tyreek Hill as a wide receiver with the Chiefs, because I'll talk about his Dolphin season this year. Tyreek Hill as a wide receiver with the Chiefs was catching the majority of his passes when they were over like 15 to 20 yards. And if you watch a lot of times when Tyreek Hill is playing, he's at least 5 yards open. Tyreek Hill's not getting in with those guys. He's not, like catching the ball and like holding it. He is down the field or across the field, wide the fuck open. And in my opinion, if you are an NFL wide receiver, you should make that every time. If you're dropping those, you definitely don't have hands. But what I started to notice was that every time that somebody was covering Tyreek Hill fairly well, or if you take away a lot of his big games,
okay,
he's not really catching too many passes under like 5-10 yards. So to me, I had said that he doesn't have hands. Now let's fast forward to this year.
That's what I want to hear.
This year, Tyreek Hill, hold on, let me look up Tyreek Hill stats because
and then when you're looking,
I'm pretty sure he led the league in receiving at a point. Okay, so Tyreek Hill.
You have to take into account the times that he had to play with backup and backups too.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to matter when I say what I'm about to say. So as of this regular season, Tyreek Hill has 119 receptions for 1,710 yards, 14.4 yard average. His longest catch was only 64 yards and 7 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill is a fantastic wide receiver. And my statement about him not having hands is wrong. Because you're not putting up 1,700 yards. 1,700 yards with Tua Tagovailoa, whoever started recently.
Don't do that man's name like
Tua, I apologize, but Tua, what is it? Tagovailoa?
No, Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa? Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, so my apologies. Tua Tagovailoa, I think you're a great person. I think you are a shit quarterback. That's just kind of where I'm at. You're good enough to be in the NFL, which is a lot better than I'll ever be in my life, so don't really listen to me. But what I am going to say is that when it comes to the NFL talent, nah, bro, I don't think so. You're good enough to start. You're better than Baker, but ain't by much.
I feel like if he can stay healthy and you don't have to worry about him staying healthy, he will be better.
You know what Tua reminds me of, and I promise there's a point to this because Lionel's sitting there being like, I'm waiting for this dude to say he's done.
Go ahead, my bad. Yeah, go ahead.
No, there's a point to this. Tua reminds me of like a less arm talent Jimmy Garoppolo. Tua don't have to do much.
Wait a minute.
But for some reason, he fucking wins. He fucking wins. Go and look at his win record. It's ridiculous. And look at his numbers. He ain't doing shit. Except every so often. He ain't doing shit. But for some reason,
this year.
For some reason, well, I'm sorry. When you got Tyreek Hill catching the ball for 1,700 yards, right. It makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot easier. But yeah, Tua to me isn't that good. But with that being said, and the fact that oh shit. Hold on. I just got some breaking wrestling news, it looks like. Oh my God. Jay Briscoe died. Which is one of like an indie, like they were the Ring of Honor champions. But if you look up Jay Briscoe, you'll know who I'm talking about. Yeah,
his brothers.
Yeah, Jay Briscoe died.
They are legends in Ring of Honor.
Jay Briscoe died.
He was the more. Was he the one that you paid attention to the most in them? Because I feel like if you've watched the Briscoe brothers, there's one that stood out the most, kind of like Rick and Scott Steiner.
Yeah, it was definitely Jay Briscoe for sure. Wow. Definitely Jay Briscoe for sure. I don't have any details as to how. I just have a tweet that says Jay Briscoe passed away. Wow. So I think they said he was 20.
Wow.
They said no, he was a star in Ring of Honor for 20 years. Yeah. His real name was Jamin Pugh. So rest in peace, Jamin Pugh. Thoughts out to the families of the Briscoe brothers for sure. That's a wrestling talent that is gone way too soon, even after 20 years. Still gone way too soon. Hate to segue back into where we were, but segueing back into where we were. But with Tua not being as good as, I really don't think he's good. And then with whoever recently played as a backup and whoever the other backup was, Tyreek Hill had a fucking monster season. So all my talk of Tyreek Hill, I don't have anything else to say anymore because I was wrong. I was dead wrong. Oh, I was absolutely dead wrong. So but Lionel, I'm done.
Yeah, Lionel, go ahead.
You could tell me that you were right. You could tell me that I was wrong. If you want, I'll post the video or I'll send it to you. But no.
So first things first. Let's talk Tyreek Hill real quick.
What you got?
Like I said, I say a wide receiver has hands if he catches more balls than he drops. Okay? And there's a reason why I say that. Because a wide receiver being contested, wide receivers are always contested, whether they're open or not.
So let me ask, Amari.
I don't understand how you get there.
Amari Cooper, hands or no hands? I even make it a little bit easier. Amari Cooper, Raiders, hands or no hands, or Cowboys, hands or no hands?
Amari Cooper.
I mean, Raiders, he had hands.
Decent,
I mean, that's
decent.
just
this year. I'll say decent
star.
Hands. Decent hands this year.
Yeah.
Not like extraordinary. But here's the thing. If every time Tyreek Hill catches the ball, he's open. That shouldn't take away from his quote unquote hands. It should take away from the DBs that are covering him. Because him being open to catch the ball is his goddamn job.
Correct.
If every time you throw Tyreek the ball, a DB is right on his ass, then that's like a shitty receiver. Personally, like there are receivers who are built for that, and then there are receivers who aren't. Tyreek is not a possession type receiver like that.
Right.
So there's that. Two, just a quick question. Do you think Justin Jefferson has hands?
I would say so, yeah.
I don't think he is as good as what people make him out to be.
Oh, yeah?
That's with me saying that he was at LSU, and I saw a lot of what he did at LSU.
Oh,
so, yeah.
And I mean, he's been pretty damn
so
good.
This whole hands thing, here's why I have an issue. Because here's the top receivers of this year.
Correct.
128 receptions.
Yep.
How many targets did he have? Hang on. Let me close this shit.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we got to get the targets.
Look, while y'all doing that, do you see the ridiculousness that Akeisha has done to this very innocent cat?
Oh, my goodness.
See this?
Lord Almighty.
No,
part of the family too.
Hood. Don't put no hood on him like that. Yo,
Lord have mercy.
Yo, Oliver.
So,
I'm
sorry, Justin Jefferson, 128 catches, 184 targets. I want to say that's a little bit under 70%.
Okay.
20 touchdowns, over 20 yards, and 6 over 40. Him and Tyreek Hill stats are similar. Tyreek Hill 119 out of 70. That may be a little bit over 70%.
119 out of 170.
Yeah.
Okay.
119 out of 170. A little bit over 70%. Those are the best hands in the league.
No,
I would say this though.
That's the case.
Yeah. When it comes to catches versus drops, Tyreek Hill has the best hands in the league.
I would say this. Are we just talking about this year?
Overall, I think Tyreek Hill has in the past 10 years top 5.
Because according to your definition, the best hands in the league, at least right now, I'm not just this season, it would be Cooper Kupp. That is ridiculous.
Cooper Kupp didn't really play this much this season, so
that's what he said. He said overall outside of this season.
Overall, yeah.
I could
I
go.
Still don't understand that. Him and Adam Thielen. I don't know what the hell happened to Adam Thielen.
Justin Jefferson. That's what happened to him.
The fact that Adam Thielen had a ceiling that people didn't want to admit, and when Justin Jefferson came in, he exceeded that ceiling. So Thielen got put to the back burner.
So that just made me hate old boy.
You know what? Hang on. So let's look at 2021.
Because Kirk Cousins has both of them niggas and a good running back.
145 out of 192.
1,900 yards. My God.
Come on, man. Come on, yo.
16 touchdowns. Oh,
come
my
on, yo.
God.
Come on,
oh,
man.
my God.
Come on. How do you have that and a good running game and you
Cooper Kupp caught 75%
on,
of the balls that came to him. So 75 out of every 100.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and Tyreek Hill, here we go. 111 out of 169. Caught 65%. So yeah, Cooper Kupp had the better hands last year, but Tyreek Hill had top 3 hands. Now, let's get to Tua, because Sean, you're geeking.
I'm not.
I don't look.
That's fine.
I'm not all the way over there with Sean. I'm kind of in the middle here because I see the potential. I worry about that nigga every time somebody get close to it.
Concussion or not, Tua had top 5 best passer ratings in football.
Yes, he did. This season, he was the man by the numbers.
Yeah, he is oddly, and I will say oddly, he's oddly accurate. Because every time I looked at his numbers throughout a game, it was like 11 for 13, 16 for 18, 20 for 20. Like, it was ridiculous.
I don't think it's oddly accurate.
I think it is oddly accurate.
No, because his accuracy was never the problem. His arm power was the issue.
64%.
It was never his accuracy. His accuracy was there. He holds the ball a little bit too long, and he don't really chunk it down the field like that.
No.
Patrick Mahomes didn't have the highest completion rate in the season, though.
No, he didn't, but he's threw the most passing yards, and that's how you measure quarterback stats. Just like you measure total defense and how many yards the defense allows.
Yeah.
But in reality, if your offense is shitty, your defense is going to be in the worst position possible to play football if your offense is always putting you in a bad position on a short field. So, yeah, that was like that year Houston had the #1 defense. The offense was ass. It's like, because the defense is always starting at their own fucking 40-yard line, so they only have to go 60 yards to defend.
But so scroll down. Let's look at Tua's stats. So Tua had 3,500 passing yards. Yeah, here we go. Let's do it.
Stats. Career.
That's what I want to look at. Like I said, oddly accurate. man is insanely accurate.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out where
See,
your.
But see, the reason why I
your
wasn't saying
issue is.
oddly accurate is because, like I said, accuracy was never his issue.
My
Because-
issue.
If he's putting 6 out of 10 passes on the money, what more do you want from a quarterback? Tell me.
I'm looking at this 2022, and I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this is really good.
You're
This is
a fucking
good
hater,
season.
Sean.
Yeah,
That's
this is a
what
good
this is.
season.
That's what it comes
really
down
good.
to.
I didn't realize he
It
threw
is really
25 and
good.
8.
Yeah,
I didn't
fucking
realize he
hater.
threw 25 and 8.
Oh yeah.
With concussions this year, he had one of the best quarterback ratings in the league, top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know what? If I'm
Can I look at Can I look at his attempts, how many attempts he has versus everybody else? I'm just curious about something. Or just show me his attempts versus Pat Mahomes. I don't really need everybody else. I just need Pat Mahomes.
Okay. Get out of here.
Yeah, that is obviously the MVP. Well, no, I have a
Pat Mahomes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it, but yeah.
No, because and I think we
I don't
might
like it,
be
but
on the
yeah.
same page here. The thing is,
So,
I just want somebody else to be able to get that award. I don't want it to go to a quarterback every year, man.
Attempts versus completions, 435 out of 648. Tua, 259 out of 400. 64%, 67%. And he threw more picks than
you mean
Tua.
less picks?
But he also he threw
You're talking
12
about
picks.
Mahomes threw more picks. I thought you were saying Tua threw more picks, and I was like, no.
12 to 41. That's like what, 3.5 touchdowns to 1 interception. And Tua's touchdown to interception ratio is like.
I would also like to
3.1.
point out Tua's long is 84 yards, where Patrick Mahomes' long is 67 yards. On a conversation about arm strength.
He has it clearly.
Well,
where has Tua
hold
told you
on.
that he doesn't have arm strength?
Hold on. So I'm looking at passes over 20 plus yards, passes over 40 plus yards. He definitely has less longer passes than Pat Mahomes does. It looks like Pat Mahomes does like more longer passes on like a regular basis as opposed to Tua. But what I am going to say this, and I'll say this on the record. Tua had a much better season than I originally anticipated. The fact that he's only, 2 places behind, Jalen Hurts, and truthfully, 1 place behind Aaron Rodgers.
You know what
on
that
the Dolphins,
means,
I'm keeping Tua.
You know
I was
what that
wrong.
means?
I was wrong about the Dolphins.
No, that means you're a fucking hater.
No, I was just wrong.
That means you're a hater because you talked all. That's why I muted myself. You talked all that jibber jabber. You were overdosing on it.
I was wrong.
Tua can't throw the ball. Tua is not a good quarterback. Tua ain't strong. Tua don't have no strong arm.
Wait, I didn't say anything about Tua's arm strength.
Yeah,
I
you
say anything
did.
about Tua's arm strength.
Yes, you
I say anything about
did.
Tua's arm strength.
Yes,
I
you
did.
I didn't say I did
don't
not say
respect his arm
anything
strength.
about Tua's
You
arm
said
strength.
it. You agreed. You guilty with
No,
him.
he said it. I agree.
Yeah, he said it. You agreed. You guilty with him.
Right, but I didn't say Tua had bad arm. I was just
You
saying
agreed
it's
with
not
it.
as good.
As who?
Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. And I don't even like Aaron Rodgers that much.
Okay, so you named 3 out of 32 quarterbacks that he doesn't. His arm isn't stronger than.
So
top 4.
Wait.
Top 4.
Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Jared Goff.
No. They
Jared Goff.
Kirk Cousins. I don't think his arm is stronger than Kirk's.
No.
Really that damn strong.
I don't think it's stronger than Russell Wilson.
Okay.
No.
Top 6. Top
Kyler Murray. His arm's not stronger than Kyler Murray.
Now
I don't think it's strong. I don't.
His
think
arm's
it's
not stronger than Kyler Murray.
I don't think it's stronger than Kyler.
He's more accurate than almost everybody who we've said so far. But he does not have a better arm than Kyler Murray. He doesn't have a better arm than Lamar Jackson.
That's 9. So top
strong.
10 quarterback in arm strength out of 32 starting quarterbacks.
Lionel, I could keep going.
Yeah, you can keep naming quarterbacks.
He doesn't have a
struggling.
better arm than Joe Burrow.
I'm struggling to put his arm power in the top 10.
He doesn't have a better
really
arm
struggling.
than Matthew Stafford.
He does
Matthew
not.
Stafford barely has a fucking arm.
That's true, but it's stronger than
It's still not stronger than Matthew Stafford.
right.
It's still not stronger than Matthew Stafford.
Yo, I'm struggling there. I'm struggling there to put in top 10.
I might put him top 20, maybe.
Maybe.
Honestly. He's got a better arm than Zach Wilson. You want that one?
No, I'm looking for some stats for your ass.
How about Baker Mayfield? You want Baker Mayfield?
No.
How about Deshaun Watson? Because I never thought Deshaun Watson had that good of an
Hold
arm
on.
to begin with. But
Hold
that's just
on.
me personally.
So how do you, since we doing this?
I think arm power will be how many throws over 20 yards?
20 yards.
30 yards?
20 yards.
How many throws over 20 yards?
How many completed throws over 20 yards?
That is.
It was on that list that you were looking at, by the way.
But you know what? If he's up there this time, it's because of Tyreek. It's all because of Tyreek.
Okay. So if he can throw to a receiver who's gonna catch the ball, that's not an issue.
No, it's not an issue that he can go to a receiver who has a ball. Is you can look at Tua and see he ain't got that arm power like that. I mean, he got the accuracy. He can win you a bunch of games.
Y'all is
he
killing
ain't got
me.
that. Tua ain't got that cannon like that.
He doesn't
got that cannon.
He doesn't need it, but he doesn't have it.
Right. Right. He don't need it.
So he's got 50 passes. 50. So he's on par with Geno Smith. Excellence.
Okay.
Excellence.
Quarterbacks
phenomenal.
Quarterbacks higher than 50. Okay. Higher than 50.
Okay. Pat Mahomes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And then at 50. And then at 50.
That doesn't mean that they're better than him. They're on the same.
No, we're not saying they're better. He just ain't got that cannon. That's it.
He's top 10. What more do you want out of a quarterback?
Look,
he's throwing the ball top 10.
All right.
So you mean to tell me you mean to tell me you have an 80-yard pass you got to get down the field. And I'm even looking at that 84 yards right there. You got 80 yards you got to throw down the field. And on your bench, you have Tua, Trevor Lawrence, and Jared Goff.
Why would you have 3 starting caliber quarterbacks on your bench?
Not the question.
Yeah, that is the question.
It's not the question. Who are you putting in that position?
Who's starting the game?
That's not the question.
That is the question.
It's not the question. The question is, you got 84 yards. You got to get a completion down the field. It's got to be in the air for at least 50. And you got the options of Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, and Tua.
You're moving the goalpost. That's what you're doing. Because
I'm moving the goalpost.
Yes, you are. Because before I even pulled this back up, you said more throws over 20 yards. And I named, and you sat here and we saw all the quarterbacks who have more.
Well, I mean, look, on a technical basis, on a technical basis, it is more yards, more throws completed over 20 yards. Even with that said, I still don't trust that man to have that arm power.
I'm not putting him in that position to throw that Hail Mary. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. No.
I'm not doing it.
Right at 20 yards, I will take that. If I'm just looking over 20, no. Give me Josh Allen.
Over 20?
Over 20. Yeah,
Here we go.
Josh Allen.
He's at 12. Oh, look at Josh Allen. He's also at 12.
Yeah, but he's got 51, 20 plus.
He's also at 12.
See, one thing I learned about numbers is numbers. When you're arguing numbers, it works for the people who want to argue on the numbers specifically. Look,
No. You brought this up. No.
Listen, y'all set the goddamn standard.
You brought this up.
Y'all set the standard.
You brought this up, asked us to set a standard, and then argued against that.
I mean,
we're
going off your standard, the standard that y'all set. Then I'm happy with Tua being top 10 in arm strength.
I don't think he's top 10 in arm strength. I don't think there's an owner in the league that would agree with you. I don't think there's a scout in the league that would agree with you. I don't think there's a GM in the league that would agree.
Here's the thing.
And you know it too. That's the
thing. For me, that's not an indictment on the overall product of Tua Tagovailoa. No, it's just saying that this is one thing that if I needed this one thing, I want a different quarterback. That's all I'm saying with that. Now we're just talking about get us down the field on accuracy. Yeah, give me Tua. Stop playing.
How often did we talk about Tom Brady having a cannon for an arm?
Yo, but that's what
no. How often did we talk about Tom Brady having a cannon for an arm?
Tom is Tom, bro.
How often did we talk about Tom Brady having a cannon for an arm?
That's a weird one because the older he got, the more that cannon starts showing. And he's been doing that shit like the last 3 or 4 years.
But that goes to my point, though. Tua doesn't need it to be a good quarterback. Okay, but it is an indictment against him.
Yeah.
How often did we talk about Drew Brees having a cannon for an arm? Drew Brees didn't have a cannon for an arm. He just threw that shit really high in the air.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
He didn't have a cannon for an arm.
I see where you're on with that.
They were built on accuracy. Peyton Manning had a pretty good cannon, but did anybody talk about his arm? No. Tua doesn't have to have a cannon, but he doesn't have it even if he wanted it.
Right? I'd be worried about him if you tried it too often.
And here's the thing. A lot of people thought Aaron Rodgers didn't have a cannon for an arm. You know, when people started to realize Aaron Rodgers had a cannon for an arm, when he started throwing up those Hail Marys. Then people's opinion changed.
Yeah.
So it's not an indictment against
throwing
Tua.
the ball 50 yards in a general direction. I mean, whatever.
Can you throw the ball 50 yards in a general direction?
Can you throw the ball 50 fucking yards?
I never said I could.
I can throw the ball.
But you're sitting there saying it's nothing, and I'm sitting there saying, and get it where it needs to get to?
Right.
I can throw a ball 50 yards and get it where it needs to go.
Really? I stand 50 yards away from you. You're going to throw me a ball that's going to hit me right in my chest? We're going to record that next time.
I understand the question.
We're going to record that next time I come to Indy. I'll give you 10 tries. If you get over 50%, I'll come in here on a chicken outfit.
That's a deal.
Shit.
So I don't know where I'm going to get a chicken outfit from, but I'll come on here with a chicken outfit.
Word.
This Tua slander got to stop.
It's not.
It's not slander.
No. It is slander.
It's not slander.
You know what?
Sean is speaking from a hater standpoint. It is.
I don't like Tua. I've said that from the beginning.
Hater.
But that's just me personally. But I'll give him his credit that he had a good season and he needed it.
Listen, Sean, here's your homework. If you can show me three clips where Tua didn't get the ball deep when he needed to, I'll stand corrected.
Yo, I'm telling you, he's gonna have way more than what you think.
Just show me three. Show me three, and I'll drop the arm strength thing.
It's gonna be so many clips.
But Tua still is like that.
Like what?
He's like that.
He can put the ball where it needs to get to, except when it gets to over 21 yards. That's when he.
That's clearly.
And I'm gonna stand by that.
Clearly fact. Not true.
Once it gets over 20, that ball starts wobbling in the air, and you start worrying about it. I'm telling you, he's gonna have so many clips for that. If Sean actually if he actually looked it up, he's gonna have way more than 3 for you. I'm telling you. You should probably set that number higher than that.
I can probably find 3 in a game. I probably find 3 in a game. And again, it's not an indictment of Tua.
It's not.
Because the game plan isn't for Tua to bomb the ball down the field.
Right.
They don't need to do that.
Right.
But if they had it, they'd be better. I will say that.
Oh yeah.
I will say that.
Without a doubt. You got Waddle and Tyreek out there, like
and Wilson too. And Wilson's a speedster too.
And then you got underneath, you got Gesicki still there. So
Gesicki's trash, but that's a conversation for another day.
I'm not doing
Gesicki's trash, and that's a conversation for another day.
Gesicki's not trash. He's just a block first tight end.
But people look at him as a receiving tight end and put him in this category of being his top receiving tight end.
All tight ends.
If you're looking at
they are, but he is not. But like you just said, he's a block first tight end. That's not. Huh? I never said he couldn't catch. I said he's not that good.
I don't know where you're getting that not that good from, though, man.
Go look at his numbers. Go look at his numbers.
Oh my God.
No, we're not. No. Because I'm done. I need to go eat because I'm hungry, and then I got to get up in the morning to do what I need to do. So I'm out.
That's fine, but like you be just talking on here. You
maybe I just don't like the Miami Dolphins because so far everybody else talks about the Miami Dolphins.
You be just on here.
I just don't like the Miami Dolphins. I don't know, man.
Every time you tell me to go look at the stats, the fucking stats prove your ass wrong.
I mean, the thing is with Gesicki, he's gonna have good stats because tight ends in the NFL don't get a ton of numbers. But for where people rank him versus what his numbers are, it's underwhelming. He's always looked at, like fantasy-wise, he's always looked at as a top 3 tight end, and he always finishes bottom 10.
No, he's never been a top 3 tight end. Kittle, Kelsey, Dalton Schultz, TJ Hawkinson.
And before Dalton, TJ. All right. I'm going.
Hold on. Before you go, I just want to say for the record, Mike Gesicki was not the starting tight end this year.
Well, I feel like that says everything we need to know right there.
I think that had a lot to do with injury. If I'm being
it doesn't necessarily have to do anything with injury. You got a new head coach with a new scheme.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. I was about to say, but see, it's weird because McDaniel is one of them guys who use the tight end sometimes. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. And he's the best tight end on that team for me. So, I don't know what's going on.
Disagree, but hey, that's fine. Like I said, that's conversation for another day. We just move on to another.
Really not.
Look,
really
if
not.
y'all just pull Dolphins players for me, I'll just start the hate because apparently I don't like the Dolphins. I don't know.
You be just saying
I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest.
You be just saying shit and you don't look up the shit before you say it. And you should.
No, because I don't say nothing without looking it up.
You have not coached football before and it shows. Oh, the nigga, he be open every time you throw the ball. Like, what? That's not a problem.
No one's gonna complain about it, but
you just did. You literally just said that was your issue with Tyreek Hill.
This was literally the argument that we had on the podcast.
Whatever.
Was you sitting there being like, "Well, if he's open, that's his job."
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm not saying he's not doing his job.
Listening to the episode, please give us a like, a follow. And if you think Sean is a hater, because I think he is, the nigga hate on everything. The nigga hate on a fucking whale for swimming.
I just don't like the Dolphins, apparently. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know.
Sean said he gotta go. He gonna try to sell, fire in hell like he Jay-Z or somebody.
No, actually, I'm about to eat homemade hamburger helper.
Ooh, hey now.
So goulash.
Tell Aaron goulash. That's
goulash.
What you need to do. That, which is fine.
You tell your sister it's goulash.
Hey, Lionel said it's goulash. That's what Lionel said. What is goulash, Lionel? Is that what it's called, Lionel?
Yes.
He said yes. But he's got a headband on, so I don't trust him.
Thank you, Chef.
Nigga, what? I got more swag than you would ever fucking. What? Shut up.
Well, I just want to say I'm glad to be back on the podcast. I've had some adventures recently, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
But I'm Sean. That's Lionel.
We heard
that's
the Sacramento
Jay's.
Kings flew you out Spirit Airlines. They ain't even put you on fucking United or anything.
Man, I'll tell you what, De'Aaron Fox is 5'2", and I'll stand by it.
Whatever. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see y'all next week. Next week we will be reviewing Dope. And
May the Lord watch.
May the Lord watch. By Little Brother. So you got one of these days we're gonna do the podcast YouTube live so y'all can interact while we talk.
Oh, that would be good.
One of these days. If we can never get to, I don't know, 150, 200 subscribers, maybe we'll do that one night.
Truly.
But we don't do this for the money. We do this kind of like therapy. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a bean shot before we go. I don't really care if anybody ever watches this shit.
Truly. Honestly, it is what it is.
However, I will say we are open to receiving sponsors.
Yes,
and we will do good sponsor work.
I'll tell you who I want to sponsor me right now.
Who you want?
Lil Debbie. Nigga eat Nutty Butters his whole fucking life. Sponsor your boy.
I'll tell you what, Skull Candy. I've been rocking Skull Candy for a long time. Just
Jay,
throwing it out there.
Glasses, the glasses company that make 3 lenses. We want.
Yeah, no shit. They need to get on. We need to get on them on this podcast and ask them, where did you get that idea from? And how many tarot cards you got at home? But anyway, that's
the But Peep This hoodies and the apparel is coming whenever we feel like fucking making it.
Soon, because that's our thing. Whenever we feel like it. But anyway, all right. Yep. Y'all have a good night.
Y'all go out there and get these LLCs,
baby,
and put your kids on your credit card so we can get this wealth. All right. So drink your water, mind your business. We'll see y'all next week.
Cool. That's a shiver I got.